You know what I mean? It was too much. It was like just we're getting little leaks of games here and there. I'm like, bro, we just need the whole thing. Just give us the schedule. You know?
Man, the whole schedule basically came out with people leaking it anyway.
Yeah. So do
Gotta
you have a favorite game from the schedule?
Oh, of course, LA home opener here in LA against the Chargers. Yeah.
It seemed like it took forever for them to drop because I was really hoping it was going to be the Saints. I was hoping that we could do that, get that out the way early.
Yeah.
But the Charger one is a good one too because I think
critique.
It's going to be tough too because they're going to be working the kinks out. We're going to be working the kinks out. They have a veteran quarterback with Herbert.
Herbert, yeah.
So and then see the thing about AOC, this is year 2 for him. So that's better than us trying to break in another quarterback and stuff like that. We got somebody that's, he did it and hopefully he builds on. Because think about just how he did in preseason, because he shined. Even the announcers and everybody was like, damn, this kid's he's got a hold of this offense. He knows where he wants to deliver the ball. I was rewatching his stuff too. Like I just watched, and it's like he knows where he wants to put this damn ball. You know what I mean? Like it's like he has his, and I like that killer. He kind of lightweight does have a little killer instinct to himself.
A little bit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I know it's gonna take a little bit for everybody to kind of see, but
yeah.
Oh, I hope I'm right. I hope he is that guy. Because it's like he did just enough for me to be like, okay, I could see another year of this. It wasn't like because we had some good highlights during this year, but we had some lowlights. We had those Minnesota games, stuff like that. We had, a lot of different bad outcomes, but I like when he was playing good, I like what I seen, and even though he struggled during that Kansas City game, he didn't lose the game for us. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he didn't, he didn't complete a pass in the second half, but he didn't throw a damn interception in the, you know what I mean? He didn't kill us off. And that's all we ask for you, but manage the game. Just get us a win, however it looks. Because, we're Raiders, man. It's always an ugly win. A win for us is always ugly. We rarely have those.
They don't always come pretty blowouts, huh?
Yeah. I wish they would. I wish they definitely would.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I like it. I think rewatching his tape, watching some of the games from last year, like I can see why I was critical, but I also see the highlights.
Yeah.
I like it. But I think the part where I get I know we want a game manager, a guy that doesn't want to lose the game, but I also want a guy that's going to be able to drive us down the field and win the game when we need it,
Yeah.
But I'm willing to give him a shot. I like the dude, see what he can do. If not, we have Minshew there as well.
Yeah.
My biggest concern, bro, is how the offense is going to look with with Getsy and the offense.
Yeah.
How that's going to look. How our running game is going to look this year, How is it going to look with Madison and Zeus and the revamped O-line, I can't wait to see JPJ out there. I'm so excited about that dude, man. I already have his jersey.
Oh, did you already? Nice.
Speaking of Jackson Powers Johnson, I was actually just before I came on the live, I was watching the 2021 Alamo Bowl between Oregon and Oklahoma, and it was a game because I've kind of taken a shining to that Oregon quarterback we've got in the room, Anthony Brown. So I wanted to see what he could do playing a full game of college football against a power school.
Yeah,
and he was playing against Caleb Williams, who was playing for Oklahoma at the time. But Jackson Powers Johnson, guess where he was playing?
Where?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No.
They put him at defensive tackle. That was his sophomore season, mind you. And for that game, they had him at defensive tackle. So I didn't know that. I was just like, because I was trying to look on the field, like, where's Jackson Powers Johnson? Is he playing? He should be on their roster by then. Maybe he's not starting. But then I was like, well, hang on a second. Who's that defensive tackle? That looks like JPJ. It is JPJ.
Yeah.
Who knew he was playing defensive tackle? I only got up to the second quarter. He wasn't doing much, but he was there.
Yeah, he's a nasty player. That's one of my favorite pickups. That was like a necessary pickup, and it was a very good. That was a solid pick.
Oh, I'm so glad he fell to us. When I
Yeah.
saw he was still up there, I was like, "Oh, dude, that'll be so perfect." Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. It felt like somebody else was gonna swoop his ass up, from us and stuff like that. Because like I was like, that would be a solid. Because that's what we were screaming. We needed that help on that interior,
On the line,
and
on the line, on the line. Yeah.
we got the best of the best tight end slash slot slash. I still feel like we need another wide receiver though.
I think
Oh, wait,
Bowers
no,
is
wait.
gonna
Yeah, I'm tripping. I forgot we
like
added
cover that up. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
Bowers will be able to do that dual role because he can line up on the outside. But
Yeah.
I hear you though. I mean, we'll see how Gallup does. See if Gallup can come back to form.
Yeah, I hope so. I think he'll just be like
And
a
who's
solid,
that other cat
solid
we
possession.
got? The other cat that we signed?
Guyton.
Guyton, Tyler Guyton.
I watched a little bit of his tape. I didn't mind that. He seems like a bit of a burner too. Like,
Yeah, he's got some
you know,
wheels. So
it's not it's never a bad thing to have more speed on the depths. You know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah. We love speed, man. That's the Raider
sure.
way. The Raider
Yeah.
way.
right away, the Al Davis way.
the Al Davis way. And we got the possession receivers. Now we just need the speed. You know, we got Myers and we got Tay. So it's who's going to stretch the field, you know? Yeah.
Then you guys were just reminded.
I remember when we had
Trey
the
Tucker.
Brown, they weren't fast, but they were possession receivers. But then we would
Yeah.
stretch the field like the other dudes, with like
Yeah.
Porter and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think we have all the tools to get it done. Like the running back situation, I think we'll be fine. They're just gonna figure out who, they're gonna see who pretty much makes it out of the scrum. Because I think
Fine.
Huh?
Fine.
I know that's not a word you want to use. When but
I know, right? I'm just going on hope. Like I'm hoping they get it done.
because I could be petty. I could be like, well, we may need enough, but I'm like, you know what? We just need someone to run the ball just to take the pressure off AOC a little bit. That's it.
Yeah.
And then,
So you guys are kind of in the same boat as me by the sound of it, like that. I mean, there's a lot of hype, especially from the Raider faithful, that Zamir White is going to be the guy and he's going to do this, that, and the third, and that's the hope, and I hope that comes to fruition. But for me, I'm going to still be in wait and see mode. Like he definitely proved he could play the last 4 games of last season. It was good to see, but can he be that guy consistently? Time will tell. And then who's going to emerge as the other guys in the room? I mean, for me, like every other running back spot is up for grabs. Like who's going to be that spell back? If Zamir's going to be the feature back, who's going to be that third down back? Like is it going to be Dylan Lorby from the jump, or is he going to need time to develop and it's still going to be Amir Abdullah? Is Madison going to be that spell back, or is it going to be someone else? Is Britton Brown going to get a chance to showcase what he can do? I mean, I thought he was pretty decent in his first preseason with us, but he was out injured all last season. Is he going to do something, or is he going to be a cut come the end of preseason? Like time will tell, but hopefully it can be whoever we keep in the room. It can be decent enough to keep the chains moving, or keep things moving to take the pressure off our quarterback and the passing game.
Yeah, I'm saying with you, kind of like see what happens with Zeus if he can continue to be that consistent, with a stronger O line this year. See what that looks like. But I'm curious how the spellback's gonna look like. Is it gonna be Abdullah in a bigger role? Is Lavi gonna like start balling and we're gonna be like, holy crap, like look at this kid, or even look at like how you said Brand Brown did have a good preseason for us before. Kind of like Madison be like that 1-2 punch with Zeus, the interchangeable. The committee.
Or is McCormick gonna live up to the hype?
Or is McCormick gonna live up to the hype and shut us up?
Yeah, I hope
If
so.
he does, I'm all for it. I will eat that. Like my bad.
This is going on 3 years, right? Talking about sincere because we've been.
3.
He's been kind of. It
Yeah,
feels
this
like
is third year. Put up or shut up time.
Yeah. AR always says that your third year is put up or shut up time.
Yeah.
you don't show it in preseason, and time to bounce.
Time to go. Yeah.
I agree with critique. Like he doesn't look that bad, man. Like he's done like I said, it was his first year, so of course, like anything we got out of him was definitely positive production, and for him not to get yanked by the end of the season showed that okay, they seen the progress that he was making. You know what I mean? So, and that's all we can ask for. As long as you're getting better and you're not throwing the damn ball to the other side. And you know what I'm saying? Like just making it really harder on the defense. Because how many times in this last 2 to 3 years has the defense made the stops, but we couldn't do anything on the other
like
side?
a quick little 3 and out or something.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my God, I hated that. I hate the 3 and outs because I'm like, you guys practice these damn drives. These are scripted drives, and how are you going 3 and out on scripted drives? You guys practice this all week. You know what I mean? Just to at least move the ball down and score. At least
taking me back to what 2012, 2013.
Oh my God, those years.
With Jamarcus, the thing that used to piss me off is when he would throw these erratic ass balls, and then he's blaming the wide receivers because they're not diving. Yeah, he's like, you gotta drive. You're like, what you want him to do? Like dive into the damn dirt? Like it's just crazy. It's like you got all this arm and you can't hit nobody. You know, like it was just frustrating just to see, and then him just seeing that his stupid face, just you know what I mean? Like I'm like, man, you get paid and you stealing money from us. Like was that 60, 70 million? Did he?
That's why I'm so glad they have like rookie contracts now instead of before where they would hold out for like some
he messed
quarterback money.
He messed all that up. Yeah, he messed all the whole thing.
Bradford was the last. I mean, he got
was Bradford the last one?
Yeah, he was the last one to get like a ridiculous contract right from the rip. And then the league said, nah, no way. Like this has got to stop. Like this is crippling teams like on a, you know, we're banking on these guys. Like, yeah, we're still banking on them like being like first round draft picks or whatever it might be to be the future of our franchise, especially at quarterback. But like to pay these guys when they haven't proved nada.
That used to
at the NFL level.
Off their college career.
I like what they did. That it was a change I thought was necessary.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the changes I'm glad that they're, because I think like what Bowers got like 10 million guaranteed. Like, I mean, it's still a lot of money for his age. Like,
these kids are coming out of college. You got to complain about 10 million,
right?
I wouldn't complain about 10,000. Jeez,
exactly.
Shout to Anthony Estrada for this comment too, and like I'm asking you guys too. Do you think we fixed the offensive woes where we can now score 24 points or more? Do you think that we fixed that from last year?
I don't know.
I'm not good.
Sorry, I don't know if we fixed them, but I think better, more consistent quarterback play will promote that, as well as the offensive line playing better. Yeah. I mean, moving on from not having an offense, you know, based off what happened with our coordinator last year, and then now bringing in Getsy, then we'll see how they look as far as the game plan and what they're going to do. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to give a bona fide answer. Like we got to see it on the field. You know what I mean? Like see what he can do and give him a chance. Like it might take him time to get a feel of the roster, actually come game day and see what they actually do. You know what I mean on the field. But yeah, like these are only questions that will be answered like with time. And I'm going to give Getsy time. I mean, one thing Patrick Graham showed me was that like you do even coaches need time. You know, I was a heavy critique of him last season. You know, he didn't impress me, and he definitely turned things around last season and proved to be the guy moving forward. So I'm going to give Luke Getsy some leeway and some time. Like as long as he doesn't completely like screw the pooch, like. You know what I mean? Like a Josh McDaniels, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Devontae likes, I guess, whatever they got going on, you know, with the Getsy offense. So that's kind of a good sign. Because remember the beginning of, I think it was last year, he didn't like the direction. They were saying Devontae didn't like the direction of the offense and, you know, the way the team was headed. And,
nobody liked the direction.
No, we had an offense. I thought it was just hand the ball to Jacobs and hope he breaks one.
Let me put it like this. I saw more creativity from that Boy Hardegree guy than I ever did with Josh McDaniels and his time during the head coach or offensive coordinator. Like, we had an offensive coordinator, but we all know what's up. You know, it was Josh McDaniels way or the highway. You know what I mean? And for it to be such a calamity, and salute Snoops, I see you in the building. It was a disaster. And Bo Hardegree, like, I'm not going to throw stones too much at him. Like, he was thrust into a position he'd never been in and wasn't expected to be in. You know what I mean? And I was watching another live, I think it was Protect the Shield podcast, and there was a certain someone in the feed calling him garbage, and he was a reason for AOC's woes, which to be for me was just that was like, you're gonna throw him under the bus, yet you say nothing about McDaniels.
Yeah, you couldn't blame Hardegree for that. Right. He was brand new.
Give me a break.
He was thrown under the bus, under the fire too. Like, here's the offense, now lead us. Like, never called plays before either. Hardegree first time. Like,
and they didn't necessarily change too much of the playbook. It was still had a lot of Josh McDaniels, blueprint all over it.
It's hard to implement a brand new playbook after November? That's when they took over. Like, imagine having to learn a whole new playbook as a team between them. Like, no, they couldn't do that. You couldn't expect that from them. But I do agree with what I was saying. That I did see more creativity. Like, you did see more throws down the field to Tucker, a couple of those end arounds. Even the one where with Jacoby Myers who threw a touchdown in that Charger game. Yeah, so stuff like that. You saw more creativity when it came to that part. So I wouldn't.
And what does that tell you? And what does that tell you about the old regime? When a guy who never called plays before, wasn't supposed to be in that position, he didn't do a great job. But I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna throw him under the bus. But like, when someone like that can show you more creativity and at least do some things than the last guy we had in the door was supposed to be the head coach, supposed to be the offensive guru.
The guru.
Genius. I'm so glad I don't have to hear that anymore. Sure.
What did you tell him? Hey, I've been there before. Just follow me.
Yeah. Right. I've been there. To me, the worst thing I ever heard him say was like, "Oh, we played good on special teams, though." I was like,
that's crazy.
Like, are you serious? That's your highlight from this game?
I feel like he had no soul. Like, he was just one of them, like, emotionless, like, just like, hey, people die, got to move on,
Yeah,
it was just like one of those.
Sounds like Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, exactly. He dies.
He dies. He died.
Oh no, man.
Thank God it's over.
Right.
And that's why I always tell people, because they're like, why I like AP, because they're like, oh, he's Raiders confident amongst. Besides that, like, I think to me the culture changes the way the players are going to play for him. I never saw that with the old coach, with the old regime, and you instantly saw the change in the fire in the team once that took over, and that's why I'm all for that part. They're like, oh, but he's inexperienced. You guys should have got him more experience. Like, no, like, you stick with the culture. You gonna see what it does for you, and you can add other coaching staff to come help, come train the players, get something going. So that's why I was fine with all that,
Yeah, and like, not to mention, like, how many, like, just about every player was coming out even before the season was finished with their endorsement of their unequivocal endorsement to for Antonio Pierce to be the guy to lead them next season. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen that kind of energy from a player standpoint getting behind the coaches. I mean, we've had other coaches who they liked, like that guy who was a special teams coach, Rich Bisaccia. They liked and appreciated him, but it was not at the levels of Antonio Pierce. And even, like, the last game, seeing that, hearing the crowd like chanting his name. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen a Raider crowd chant a coach's name that loudly before in my time as a fan. So,
especially a special team coach.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, when I was there, that game you're talking about, that Denver one, that tripped me out when people started chanting his name as the game was ending, and I was like, oh damn, like, man, they better keep this guy. Like, look at what the players are doing, the fans, everybody, like, they need to keep him, and I'm glad they did. Yeah, I had never seen that before either. Them chant like that for a coach. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
I love to love our coaching situation again.
Finally, right? Like, but for real, Lucky, not just like, oh, it's my coach, I gotta support him.
Right. Like, I mean, you guys know my stance with Josh McDaniels. Thank Christ he's gone. He was never my guy, but you know what I mean? I was still going to get behind him. Even before that, even with Gruden, like, I didn't mind the move. I liked Jack Del Rio when he was I thought he was building something successful until he didn't, like until that 2017 disaster. But like I haven't felt like so confident in a guy to take the lead since I've started being a fan. So yeah, I love it. And salute to you, we the people I see in the building, as well as someone else just came in as well. Sal, my guy.
What up, Sal? Mm-hmm.
A few guys turning up to the live. Appreciate you guys.
Man, shout to Jeffrey, man. Like he says, what do you guys think of the UDFA class?
Woo.
Look, like for me with UDFA's, like if they can even crack the roster, and salute to Jasin in the building, and just be a contributor. Like you don't have to be a superstar, a pro bowler, or even a starter, but just a rotational guy. So, someone like Polymal, or like my guy Masterson. You know what I mean? And even another one of my guys, DJ Turner, a guy who many people don't notice him. And he was a wide receiver who hasn't had much burn at wide receiver outside of preseason, if any.
Right.
But what he does do very well, and I want you guys next season to pay attention, because he definitely piqued my interest when I noticed him on the field, was at the gunner position. You guys know what the gunner position is?
Oh,
the guy who's on special teams, who flies down the field and makes the tackle. What he was able to do last season, that was some of the best gunning play I'd seen since the days of Tywan Jones. Now, Tywan Jones is a guy we drafted back in 2010. He never really did much at running back. Like, he did some things. Remember that touchdown he scored against the Jets back in 2015, I believe. But, you know, he was a guy who was in the league for 11, 12 years, up until 2022 as a special teams ace. So if you can carve out a role, you know, doing that kind of thing, then you can find your way on a roster. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I expect. Well, not expect, but like that's what I hope for with these UDFAs. If they can be any more than a rotational guy or someone who develops and can do some things when his number is called, that's a win. But like outside of that, like it kind of gets annoying sometimes when I go through the off season. I hear people hyping up this UDFA and that UDFA, saying he's going to get this many sacks, or he's going to be a starter, he's going to be this, he's going to do that. It's like, come on. Yeah. Do you guys not see like how many of these UDFAs actually even take a snap in the regular season,
or make the team,
let alone do anything, let alone be a starter who actually plays well? I mean,
Adam Plant.
That's my stance with the
Adam Plant was one. Who's the other one? Nestor J, right? He's another one.
He's a seventh round.
Yeah,
he's a seventh round draft pick.
Oh, okay, with seventh round.
Yeah. Like, but back to what it was asking about the UDFA class specifically. This one, I looked at some of the guys, not too many. There's that tackle that I was watching a little bit of tape from. I think he's from, was it TCU or something like that? One of those purple colors. Coca. Yeah, I liked what I saw from the limited stuff I saw from him with his pass protection. He's a guy who needs to develop. It's going to be competition there with Wagner and Glaze. Is that, you know, who's going to be those next men up after our starters? So yeah, that's one guy that I've kind of earmarked. But outside of that, it's like, look, I'm going to wait till preseason, see if they can actually do something, and if they actually crack the roster, and then if they make the final roster, if they actually do something in the regular season. Like you don't, like I said, you don't have to light the house on fire, but just when your number is called, be ready to contribute.
Be ready to go.
That's it. We don't care where you came from. We don't care what you did before you got here. As long as you come here and you ball out. You know, we don't judge. We're Raiders, man. We don't judge what you did before you get here. When you get here, your family. So, you know, just
the one that I've been watching more tape of is the quarterback, Cooper Bradley.
Bradley.
I've been watching more and more tape of him. Like the more I watch, the more I like. But then I also understand he was at a smaller school. You know, the competition level. But I see his mechanics. The dude can throw a bomb. The kid can throw a bomb. He can throw deep.
Is he a prototypical like pocket kind of passer kind of quarterback?
Pocket kind of passer with functional mobility. Like he can get out of the pocket and make a throw. But he's not gonna like run around like Lamar type shit. But
so he's gonna be competing with my guy Anthony Brown for that third string.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. He's gonna be competing with Brown.
Hey, hold on now. Now my boy AOC, right? I heard a lot of things that, you know, he can't run and stuff like that, but I seen him in a couple of them highlights getting gone. So I'm saying like he knows how to do it. I think he just has more faith in his arm and getting it there. You know what I mean? Like, but I seen, because I had never seen these plays before where he actually ran for some first downs and wiggled outside the pocket, so he has it. He just have to use it, man. It's the NFL. You got fast guys coming after you.
Yeah, you
But
can
you
see
wouldn't
in some
associate
plays.
AOC being an athletic, mobile kind of quarterback.
Right.
To me personally, he's not that, and that's cool. Like he is what he is, and being the prototypical pocket passer, usually is the blueprint for success. Like, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's nice to have these mobile guys. Like, I was just talking about my guy. I've taken a shining to Anthony Brown. I did my research. I've watched some tape, watched some game footage, and like I'm by no means saying he's going to be the starter or even pushed to be the next backup. But I don't know. He's my little project guy for the preseason, off season to watch.
Yeah,
like I liked watching his tape with the preseason when he was at the Ravens. Like he was, making things happen, like scrambling out of the pocket, stiff arming people, and getting the ball out, out deep and making some passes like off script. Like he was giving me Terrell Pryor shades, you know what I mean? And
Pryor,
Pryor's a guy who's dear to my heart. So just when I was digging in and doing my digging on Anthony Brown, because when I saw him, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? This other guy we got in our quarterback room. And then upon further review, I was like, you know what? I like this guy. Whether he does anything, probably not, but someone to keep an eye on.
It'll be a nice watch in the preseason, like he said.
He's going to be a nice watch. So everybody, pay attention when he's on the field.
Yeah, especially because we know AOC, we know Minshew, so to see them in the preseason is not going to be like much, But I want to see like Anthony Brown, or if the kid Cooper does get to play in the preseason, like just to see what they can do out there.
Yeah,
those little preseason heroes that can end up becoming, greater fan favorites, eventually. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just watching your boy Jason's guest in the background.
Oh, you seen the escapee? No. Hey,
she's gone and done the dash.
The one thing I do like about having Anthony Brown is, remember last year we didn't have a mobile quarterback on our roster whatsoever, like anyone to practice against, to get ready for
Chase Garbers, I think was still there.
Oh yeah, they cut him right before because I didn't understand that. I felt like I would have kept Garbers over Hoyer just to give us a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, they kept Hoyer.
Yeah, they kept Hoyer.
Don't even get me started with Hoyer.
Yeah,
that was the whole "let me keep my boys" type shit. That's when you knew he was just doing that.
Yeah, like what's his name? The running back too, the older one,
Brandon friggin'
yeah. I felt like there were so many people on our roster that were just like you said, his boys. Like, oh, these are my Patriot babies, so I'm gonna keep them. I'm gonna give them a job and let them waste some space over here. It's just crazy because it's like we need people that are gonna do stuff. And then the one time we did play old Bolden, they had a good little game there. I guess with the Chargers.
The Chargers.
Just that one game.
But I will say that about, like, I feel like I've been watching a lot of last year's games. Mm-hmm. There are times where you see AOC moving in the pocket and making throw. Like even that throw that he made to Mayer, the one against the Jets. Yeah, like he was actually moving around in the pocket when he made that throw. So, and I didn't realize that because I was so excited by Mayer doing that catch and shit. But as I watched the game again, I was like, oh shit, like AOC did get out of the pocket to make that throw.
Now I'm glad you brought that up too, because the Jets get that defense, because like I said, I was there for that game. That defense was damn good, and he squeezed everything he could have got out of that. You know what I mean? Like it was like he had everything had to be precise, everything, because it was tight coverage. You had what's his name, Sauce on the other side, and he was still getting it done. Like it was one of those slow ass back and forth kind of games, and it was just like, man, if they had scored when what's his name, Wilson flipped over and he actually stepped out right before that, and they held him. You know what I mean? Because that would have been that, because the way that game was going, anybody that scored, it would have just been hard for the other team to.
I knew that was going to be a defensive battle, bro. Because that Jets defense was no joke.
Yeah, because that being there, prime time too, that was definitely, they gave them every bit. They earned that victory. That was one of those victories they definitely earned. And it was good to see AOC go against a good defense and come out with the victory. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't ask him to light it up. Just come out with that dub, man. That's it. Just come out with that W. However it looks like, we ain't mad at you. You know.
And he almost brought us back
what
to
are
that
your
Chargers
thoughts?
game.
What are your thoughts on the other guy then? Gardner
Minshew?
I hope we don't have to see Gardner, but I'm confident that we have someone that will at least pick up, just hit the ground running. Like, we don't have to worry about Minshew feeling it out, and I feel like he could just pick it up and just take us, continue to take us on. That's why I really like our QB room, really.
Yeah,
because it gives us where the way I see it is, we got AOC as a starter. And then worst case, if he falls off or he gets injured, you got Minshew, and then you could just take it from there. You know what I mean? But I feel like they're gonna give AOC a shot. They're gonna let him, and he's a tough kid. I don't see him being a little punk where he's like injury prone and stuff like that. I feel like he's got that. He's that underdog. You know what I mean? He's used to having to fight for everything, so he's not gonna miss. So there was a difference. Remember when DC used to do it? Yeah, that's cool if you're gonna play. You're gonna be a tough ass and all this shit, and you're gonna, instead of being out, you're gonna play. Well, win. Don't be in. If you're hurting the team because you're injured, but you're just trying to be a tough guy, that doesn't help us, especially if we don't get the win. That was my only thing with him. Like, yeah, you're tough and all this stuff, but you being in the game doesn't equate to wins. You know what I mean? It doesn't get us in that. It just, you played. Oh, you got heart. You know how to lose. It's I don't know.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you guys believe that the starting job is AOC's, like 100% official, or do you think it's still going to be a battle in preseason, and whoever performs better in preseason, that's who they're going to run with, or is it AOC no matter what?
You know what? After hearing like AP and their way of going about things, I think it is AOC. As much as like half the nation wants Minshew because they don't like AOC for whatever reason, or whatever. But I think team-wise, the way they're going about it, he's going to take primarily the first snap, and they're going to battle it out. Obviously, if Minshew starts showing more, or AOC isn't progressed the way they thought he would or can, then you could see that replacement. But I honestly think it is AOC's QB1, and then Minshew is 2. Yeah. But to answer your question, what you were telling me how I feel about Minshew, I've always liked him. Like, as his character, the dude that he is, and then seeing him on the rush like that, like I like it. Like, he's a cool dude. Like he's a cool
hot and gritty kind of guy.
Yeah, like he's a cool gritty kind of guy. But I do like the fact that we do have him, because you never know what could happen. You remember what happened last year before the Chicago game? We all wanted AOC to start, and they threw Hoyer in there. So it's good to have that backup that can come in if your quarterback can't start or can't play for whatever reason. At least we have that where we're not like, oh, fuck, this game's done. We don't have a backup quarterback, or we can't do this, or vice versa. Say Minshew starts for whatever reason, and then he goes down. Then we have AOC who's familiar with it already. So I'm more confident when it comes to that. But I think that it really is AOC as far as the Raiders organization and their coaching staff. Them moving forward, that's what they're looking at.
So if Minshew outperforms O'Connell in preseason, you still believe it's going to be O'Connell?
If he outperforms him, I don't know, because the way AP talks,
that's what I asked. Yeah,
it's a competition. Yeah,
yeah. I'm confident he's gonna, because I think it is still going to be a competition, and I think if Minshew does show, I think AP will make the right decision. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on how consistent he sees Minshew, because I really have faith. I wanted Minshew kind of on our team the last couple of times he was in free agency. Because it's something about him. It's like I feel like because look how much they paid him too. Because he's not your typical sorry backup. He's a definite person that can win some games. He's beat us plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we've seen him up close really more than any. Yeah, that was crazy. And then was that you that talked about the that slide, Derek Carr slide that didn't count? That the referees didn't keep the clock going. They stopped the clock instead of having. We were talking about that last game in Oakland.
Oh, the one where they lost against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I was working that particular day, so I was only listening in here and there. And when I knew that they lost, I didn't want to go back and watch it. I to be honest, my heart couldn't bring me to watch it.
Yeah,
You know
that
what
was
I
a
mean?
tough
Being
one
that
to
was the
watch.
last game in Oakland,
Yeah.
and to lose it,
Jack.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I couldn't bear watching it.
Yeah,
I
that
salute
was
you, Jack. I see you in the building.
Yeah, for me, that was definitely disappointing because for one, we
Rough.
were leaving Oakland, and I was just pissed at how that even went down. I feel like they didn't fight for us to stay, until like the last couple weeks, a little dry attempt, but it was already decided.
Do you remember Mark Davis post game? And for me, his comments as they're walking off the field, a reporter went up to him and asked him about how does he feel? Like, does he feel like any remorse about or any regret about leaving Oakland or something along those lines?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, no.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember they booed his ass.
And that for me tells you everything you need to know.
They booed his ass the whole damn. Because after that game, after we lost, everybody was booing everybody. Derek, they booed Derek something crazy.
Well,
I remember
it's my point why I couldn't bring myself to watch us leave like that. Like it was very, it's kind of like I don't know how to feel about it, kind of thing. Like I feel privileged, but then again, like it's kind of bittersweet that like I was actually present at their very last home win in Oakland. I was at the game, the one against the Bengals.
Home win in Oakland,
I didn't realize that at the time that was going to be the last time that they would win in Oakland. But it turned out that after that game, the rest of the season, they never won another game in Oakland.
What game was that?
The Bengals.
That was against.
You were at that Bengals game? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was at the Bengals game.
I call him Fireboy, but what's his name?
Andy Dalton.
The Red Rocket.
Oh, the Red Rocket.
No, he wasn't there. I don't believe he was there. They had some scrub quarter. That they were the worst team in the league at that time, and we didn't. It was an ugly win, but like we won, so I was still hyped and being that it was my first live experience. I was in the black hole, and it was still the greatest, one of the greatest experiences of my life, dream come true. But like we didn't exactly beat the brakes off a very poor Bengals team. But I think that they were the literal worst team in the league. Them or the Jets.
These weren't your daddies.
They were coming down from that whole little run they had, right? At that point.
What's that?
That was like they were coming down from that little run they had when they were making
and they just moved on from Andy Dalton. So they were a team that were very deep in flux. Like this is before like they started rebuilding with Burrow and co, you know what I mean? Like, and now they're contenders again, but they went through a rut stage for a minute, and I just so happened to be at the game where they were in that said rut stage.
You know what was sad about that last Oakland game? I didn't get to go. I was supposed to go with my buddy John, but he ended up going, and that was his first time. He had never been to Oakland before, so sadly that was his first and his last experience at Oakland. And for him to have that be the one game he saw in Oakland, I was like, damn, bro, that's I wish they would have won for that reason.
Yeah, that sucks. And because at that point, guys, that's all we wanted was just a win. You know what I mean? Because they're taking our team away from us. It was just like, damn, we just want to see you. Just one more damn win. Just please give us a Oakland win. And let us, if you're going to take our team, let us finish, and it was just like typical Raider. That's how it felt at that time. It was like just typical Raider season, of course.
Right.
Do you remember the last game for 2018, though? I can't remember who it was against. But the last time they played in Oakland, they believe was their last game in Oakland at the time, they won. And I remember seeing the scenes on the TV, like the fans in the Coliseum dancing, like jumping up and down on top of the fence line and that. And like there's a part of me that was like, you know what, this would be a very nice way to go because everyone was happy. You know what I mean?
Was that
like,
the Woodson's last game?
No, it wasn't. Oh God, I'm gonna have to go back to it, but I'm pretty sure it was a game which they thought was their last game in Oakland, that like we ended up extending because Las Vegas wasn't ready. 2019. I'm gonna have to look at this.
And then, I remember my favorite last Oakland memory. I always forget the Jacksonville one because in my mind it's the Charles Woodson game. Where we beat the Chargers. That was in Oakland. He was leaving, He had the whole crowd all hyped up doing the Oakland sign. Like I always remember that, and I wish that's how we would have left Oakland with a win like that. That game got me. I got in trouble with that because it was Christmas, I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
And everybody was about to have dinner, and I didn't go. I was still watching that damn game.
Oh yeah. Nothing else matters.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I was glued to that TV, man. I was not. Yeah. To me, and I knew that was Woodson's last year, so that was a huge part of it too for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought, being a Raider fan, it feels like a heart attack is just a fourth quarter away. You know what I mean? We've seen so many just games. I'm like, can we just win a damn game by where they already blew out, and like we could kind of coast for a little bit instead of just he's on living on the edge of the seat. Like, oh, there's been so many times me cursing at the TV.
That's just the way Raider games go, man. We rarely have those ones where okay, we won this game already. Like, let's go. That's why I used to get so excited last year.
I do remember that Woodson last game though. That was one of my favorite, more emotional memories. Was that last game? I ain't gonna lie. Like, someone was cutting onions when he was giving that post-game.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I kind of tear up thinking about it now. You know what I mean? Especially when do you remember when he said, like, when he got the fans chanting Raiders? And then he was like, what did he say? He said, even though this is my last game,
I'm still getting this in.
Just know I'll never leave you. Go Raiders.
Yeah. That had
Right
me
in the
like,
field.
oh man,
Right
that's
in the
like, to me,
field.
I always remember that game. That's one of the most memorable games to me. Yeah.
I still feel like Seawood could play right now. like he could just come on, strap it up, and then just do what he does, man.
You know, it's crazy when you see a lot of them afterwards. Like, you see them and like, damn, you could still play.
Yeah.
I saw Greg Townsend last weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you look like you could still play. Like, go line up with Max.
Man, it's like we could.
Nnamdi Asomugha still looks good. He's been out of the league for what, 11 years?
Who's that?
Nnamdi Asomugha.
Nnamdi's another one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorite DBs, man. Like, once, and it was like by the time the league figured him out, and then he got traded, and then it was like, who the hell is this dude now? Because remember when he went to, I think it was the Eagles.
He signed that contract with the Eagles.
Yeah, and then he went to the Niners, and then just kind of bombed over there. But it was so crazy
because they end up in the Niners.
Oh yeah,
I think his last season, he was a Niner. But it sucks that he bummed out for them, but it's good that he bummed out for them and not for us. He was a stud.
Right, yeah.
For us, all the way up until 2010, his last season with us, he was him.
Yeah, you couldn't even throw to his side. Everybody was staying away from Nnamdi.
Don't throw it to Nnamdi.
Don't throw to Nnamdi. I used to trash talk in Madden back in.
Yeah.
Even though I was like, Madden 09 was my first initiation into Madden playing online. And I was losing every game because I just started and I was playing from Australia. I was garbage. It took me about 2012, 2011 to start winning some games. But yeah, like I used to say that over the mic, like, don't throw to Nnamdi. Don't throw to Nnamdi.
See, so that was like the whole Madden
take control of Nnamdi, and Nnamdi would always be getting me picks and shit.
Yeah.
They couldn't even say his name right. They would say Asomugha.
Awesome
Yeah, because
it's the awesome one.
Yeah. The awesome one.
The awesome one. Yeah.
They'd be like, Asomugha. Like, Madden.
That was my favorite player. Yeah.
I've said it a few times. Like, if my Mount Rushmore for defensive players for the last 23, 24 years, since the turn of the millennium, Charles Woodson, Khalil Mack, Max Crosby, and Nnamdi Asomugha.
No, Khalil Mack was different, man. He brought new life to me. Mack, man, yeah. Raider Twan was good, bro. Yeah, Khalil Mack, like, just he was just different. I love that dude.
But Nnamdi would be there with the likes of those, like, all those guys to me are Raider greats, and Nnamdi would be the fourth piece in that. Like, if I was to narrow it down to four guys, it would be Nnamdi. It would be part of that four guys.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the rush when they asked Max Crosby his Mount Rushmore
of defensive ends or Raiders?
I think it was just Raiders in general, because he said Al Davis, he said John Madden, he said I feel like Charles
Woodson.
Hey Siri, stop it, knock it off.
Howie Long.
My bad. Yeah, I think it was Howie Long.
I like Howie.
Charles Woodson, John Madden and
And in my list
Al Davis.
was past the millennium, not before that. Like, there's a lot more Raider greats that you'd have
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
AR said 20 years. Yeah.
that was. I think that was just his personal, just kind of who kind of reflects being a Raider. And I kind of was thinking I wanted more players out of him, but when you think about Al Davis, man, you can't get no more Raider than that. And when you think about John Madden, one of the most legendary, Raiders of all times, we got this beautiful video game that I've played my whole life, and I'm so grateful. I can't wait till next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a pretty good list though, because if you think, Howie Long, I remember as a kid, used to always.
That was my favorite as a kid. Was Marcus Allen?
I like that comment by Snoops at the bottom. Can you see it?
Let me see.
Oh God, that game! That talk about cutting onions. That game right there.
Yeah, I've spoken of that game quite a few times, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like, I bawled my eyes out.
I did. I know. I cried.
I was. Whew. Yeah, that was especially like when did you listen to the Greg Papa call?
Yeah,
especially when like Hugh Jackson was on the middle of the field crying and all the players were crying and shit. Like, that really, right in the field, right? Shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, that's one of the other most memorable games that one too, and especially if you hear it with the Greg Papa call. You hear it with the Greg Papa call.
You got to listen to the Greg Papa call. Like, that really gets in the feels. But and the other thing is that, like, that was a very good Texans team. Like, that was Texans when they were
that was
almost Super Bowl contenders. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had that. Who was that defensive end that was really good back then?
Was it Mario Williams?
Yeah, Mario Williams. They had that wide receiver, Andre
Johnson.
The other Johnson, who was still an elite guy.
Yeah.
And Twan, you're not gonna disrespect my guy McFadden like that, all right?
He said McFadden.
He calls him McFadden. Yeah, that's his
so many people's favorite running back. Like, oh my, I love McFadden.
I love McFadden. But that was during his prime days too. But Arian Foster, I believe, was like later on Texas team as well, and Matt Shaw was at that time. He was one of the top, I'd say top 5, top 10 quarterbacks around that time. So he was good then.
Didn't they have Arian Foster too as a running back still back then?
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
They had that was a good little squad they had there too.
It was. That was not.
That's to my point. That was a stacked Texas team who were in Super Bowl contention, and we beat them in their house. And we did it.
Brian Cushings, that dude was a fucking
Brian Cushing from USC. That dude.
Remember he headbutted old boy with the fucking.
Is he the guy who used to have? He always had a broken nose.
Yeah.
He had that hole like in the middle of his nose.
Yeah.
Always.
I liked his play. I wished he would have been a Raider, man, because he was definitely. That was a nasty player. He was a savage, but I think he was on PEDs though, if I'm not mistaken.
He came out afterwards.
Roid rage.
That boy was mad, but he was
on the Roman Nelson cocktail.
He was a beast, definitely. So
that was a good team.
McFragile. They used to call McFadden McFallen because he would always get tripped up. Like, he would go and all they would have to do is just kind of trip him up a little bit, and it was like almost like damn, almost broke through, and it was like just consistently like that. But he didn't start getting really like active until like a couple years into that. I think it was his last year before his contract ended. When he
2010, 2011 when you saw the best days of McFadden. Just before when he got hurt, he wasn't the same guy anymore. And also, like, you got to remember, the team was on a downward slope. That 2012, 2013, McFadden's final years, that was a pretty bad Raiders outfit. But yeah, look, the way I see it is like, and the way I like to see it with a lot of former players is I'd rather look back at their careers as a whole and look at the best that they gave us. And if the best that they gave us was at an elite level for a decent amount of time, I'm going to remember that. And McFadden was that during that 2010, 2011 period. He was, if not the most dangerous player in the league. And I will always appreciate him for that. There's a reason why I got his jersey in both black and white.
I was going to tell you that when I went to one of the things down here in LA, some dude was selling the old Reebok jerseys, and he had one of those, and I was like, "Damn, AR would fucking love that."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm still chasing a Reebok jersey. Like that was my very first jersey, was a Reebok McFadden jersey. Still the only Reebok jersey I've owned to this day. Still chasing one. I'm chasing a McFadden one or a Nnamdi Asomugha one. Like guys that were still that I was able to watch play. You know what I mean? That are dear to my heart, especially my early days as a Raider fan, because I think Nike took over in 2011, right?
Yeah.
Was it 2011? Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, but I tell you something that I've noticed when you're looking at all these off-season OTA practice photos. Have you noticed that the jerseys they're wearing, the middle patch, like the NFL logo, it's, even though it's Nike, it's in the style of the old Reebok jerseys. I don't know if you noticed that.
I haven't noticed that on the new ones. I have to look at it.
Yeah, go have a look at the photos from practice and have a look at that middle patch. And if you got a Reebok jersey, then if you know, you'll recognize it immediately, because it's got a different look to it. It's like a little circle with the shield kind of, minimal, and then you got like an equipment kind of thing underneath or something like that.
Yeah. Romanowski.
There's Cheeto looking for one now.
I'm looking at it because I have to look at it.
with the Romo.
You got the Romo?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna actually gift this one to somebody. They're gonna be getting this one. We were talking about them, and then I gave my daughter one for her birthday, and then so her grandpa was like, "Oh my, I like that one." I was like, "Yeah, I got the this one." He's like, I was like, "Got the Romanowski." He's like, "Oh, I love Romanowski." So I'm gonna have to bless him, man. Trying to bless him. He's an OG Raider too. He's an OG Raider fan.
I love Romanowski.
Yeah. That spit game where he spit in JJ Stokes' face, that was so crisp. Just watching that game, and it just like it was so, the coldness in his eyes. He did not give two fucks about JJ Stokes, his family who was watching, if his kids was watching, and nothing. He was just like, bro.
Why doesn't my Reebok jersey have that NFL thing?
Is it bootleg?
Oh no, I bought it at the thing. Yeah,
is
that replicas?
Is that the AOC?
No, this is Rich
Gannon. Come on.
Oh, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm like, hey, is that the new? Yeah, that's the last of a good one. I remember I couldn't stand Gannon either before he came to us. Well,
before he came to us?
Yeah, when he was, I think, Minnesota and Kansas City, I think. Yeah, I could, especially for Kansas City. I couldn't stand his ass.
Kansas City.
But
I can't stand any player before they come to us.
Yeah, for real. I can't stand that bastard. He became the best person we had and shit.
Well, I heard that like he had a hint of being a bit of a dick, behind the scenes.
Oh, you can tell.
It doesn't matter if I can accept you being a dick if you're going to perform at an elite level. You know what I'm saying?
Like, how many people did you really ever see arguing with John Gruden like that during that era?
Right.
Oh, just Derek Carr.
Hey, fuck you.
But during the first Gruden era, like that was a different.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know that. I've seen the footage, where he's literally yelling out, "Fuck you."
Fuck you. Yeah.
I want better fucking execution. I don't get mad at that either, too. You need someone.
I love that. Yeah.
Because remember, like you said, that Chucky, that was, you don't talk to Chucky. That's not the Chucky that we knew from 2017 and or from like a couple years ago, this last run. But this is like, because before he used to have that look on his face, and you knew it was like, oh my goodness, yeah. He's calling plays like he's mad at the other side, like five. He was just like, I was one angry dude. And then when he came back this time, he
appreciate
was
Chucky now a lot more after the whole McDaniels fuss. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god, yeah. Like
I appreciate him a hell of a lot more now.
Yeah, because it felt like he's a Raider. I feel bad for him, what he's going through with the courts and everything like that. Because it's like they just play. NFL is just a cold game. But
yeah,
I wish they would find somewhere for him with us somehow, some way. Just find a little spot for him to.
But make that make sense. Like, how is it that they're investigating the Washington team at the time for whatever it may be, or all that shit that was going on, and yet we're the only team that paid the ultimate price by losing our head coach? Like, that make sense to me.
They needed a fall guy. If you think about it, if they would have investigated Washington more, right, with Snyder or whatever, it would have affected the sale of that team.
Yeah.
So they needed
It didn't
somebody
affect
to
them,
go
it
down.
affected us.
Yeah.
And they chose fucking Gruden out of all people, and it affected us. Yeah.
I feel like didn't it feel like that season? Because remember, we had to go on that streak to get to the get to the playoffs, and it seemed like just things were kind of a little fishy. But we made it. But it just it's still that end of the season was so crazy, and I thought we were gonna do it again when we played the Chargers again, but they got us this last time. You know, because it was like I don't know, we were so close. And it's like I feel like we made the playoffs, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, so we should build off that. We should build towards that.
Oh, yeah, that's the part that hurt.
Yeah, and then we did.
Do you remember Gruden's last game coaching and seeing like when the camera was panning to him, you could see he was just a shell of himself.
Oh yeah, he was stressing. He was
like, you could tell, like, you know what you could tell by people's demeanor, like something's off with this guy. And sure enough, like he was giving his notice. Yeah, Chicago.
I was gonna say it was a crazy, and then that was the Mac.
We lost that game, but like you could see whenever the camera panned to him, like it looked like he'd just seen a ghost.
Yeah,
you know, it wasn't the same. Yeah,
he just wasn't himself.
Oh, Michelin.
We had a good start that season. We came off to a hot start. Yeah.
That's how we got to make these playoffs, guys. Like we got to get. You know, like that's why I hope we can go 4-0 because we need to do all our winning early. It seems like we do too much of our trying to catch up, trying to use the latter part of the season. We got to get these wins early, so that way it takes a lot of pressure off. Us having to get. It doesn't matter where we're playing at. We're just gonna do our job.
The part that is that the first half of our schedule is the tougher part.
Yeah,
the second half it's a little easier. I mean, it's not easy. There's nothing easy in the NFL. But when you look at the schedule from the bye, the first half is a lot tougher than it would be the second.
Yeah, we got to get. But having the Chargers, I like that as a, hopefully they forget about what we did to them this, last time. It was nothing personal.
Oh, they didn't forget.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think what I'm looking forward to that so much is the media does it every year with them. They hype them up so much. And then now, even with everyone that they lost or whatever, but they have Harbaugh now, so they're still contenders. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, how did you lose everybody, all your wide receivers? And that's what I'm saying. They're banking on a whole bunch of backups to, and they still got them ahead of us too. They got them and Kansas City 1 and 2, and then us and the Broncos, the Broncos, and then us. Well, that's nuts. That's super crazy.
Some people even have the Broncos ahead of us because they think Bo Nix is going to be like this miraculous CJ Stroud type quarterback, which is ridiculous. But
and they haven't beat us in 4 years.
They haven't beat the Las Vegas Raiders,
and they already got them ahead of us. Like they got them. That's crazy. That's nuts.
I can see with Gruden, my thing was the GM part that I didn't like about him. The picks, but he did find Waller and all of that stuff. Right. So you can't say everything was bad. Yeah.
So say what you will about some of the early round picks. Where we messed up, we messed up royally. Like guys like Leatherwood and Arnett and like Ruggs, unfortunately, and even like Cleve Farrell. You know what I'm saying? But like, where we messed up with those guys, we did find ourselves some diamonds. Some guys who I'm still waiting from the last regime, like, because the last regime hasn't drafted anyone I can say is a game changer kind of player. You know what I mean? Like, at least with that, with Gruden's run, we got guys like Max Crosby. You know what I'm saying? Josh Jacobs, to your point, Darren Waller when he was at his best.
Nate Hobbs.
He was a Gruden guy.
Renfro when Renfro had
Renfro was lighting it up. You know what I mean? Like, we found guys who were not just decent starters but good players. You know what I mean? And I'm still waiting for like a guy to emerge from the last 2 draft classes that we can say, yeah, he's really good. Like Dylan Parham, he's decent enough. He can take that 30 elite. And Zamir, we're gonna wait and see with him. But like outside of that, like it's kind of been underwhelming when you think about it. So I wouldn't say Gruden was all the way terrible. Like, I guess the bad Colton Miller's another one. Colton Miller's another guy that was that was his very first draft. You know what I mean? Yeah, Max Crosby is the big one. You know what I mean? But I'm just to my point. Like, like I said, we fucked up with guys that, and it gives us a bad rap, or gives them a bad rap for how they did with the draft. But if you look at the other side of the coin, we found some real diamonds there. So
there's a flip side to that coin, huh?
There's a flip
Yeah,
side.
there was good players that we still have, but I think it's what stands out is the number of first round picks that we had, and we should have, and that's what makes it look so bad.
Yeah, right. Absolutely shat the bed.
Yeah. Diablo. He needs
Diablo's he's gonna stay healthy this year, and he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year, huh?
He needs to.
I hope so.
Watching people.
Andre James was a UDFA. We the people, you know.
Was he a UDFA?
That was probably the best. Like, you know, I had my little rant about UDFAs, but like, I guess like the blueprint of what like would be an ultimate scenario with the UDFA classes was that 2019 UDFA class. Like, check this: we got Andre James, we got AJ Cole, Alec Ingold, who was quite good for a while.
Ingold was good for us.
He was really good at fullback.
He's still balling in Miami.
Keyshawn Nixon, like, he was a rotational guy with us, but then he goes to Green Bay and hallelujah, he's an all-pro returner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We found some guys in that class, like Lester Cotton was another guy who was a rotational guy for a little while.
Dang, Lester,
you know what I mean? So, you know, that for me was one of the better UDFA class where we found quite a few guys who actually not just was rotational guys, but actually decent enough starters.
True. Yeah. I like they found those players nobody knew, and then
yeah. Even what's it? Mullins.
Trevor Mullins.
Was that one of Gruden's guys too?
Round two.
Yeah.
Round two.
Yeah, see, and he was good for like a little bit too. He had, you know, he was kind of a lockdown for about a season or so until they kind of, but he had a lot of injuries. I think that's what kind of.
And then didn't they also pick like a receiver / running back, and then that dude didn't even make it through training camp?
Oh, what's his name? Bolden? Was it Lee? Well, no, something Bolden. Lynn Bolden or Lynn Bowden or something like that.
Bowden, was that his name?
Yeah, and then remember I think he went to Miami. That whole draft class was crazy because we had Tanner Muse, which was weird.
Tanner Muse was another one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy class right there. And then but I think by the end of the year, nobody was on the team no more.
You're talking about the 2020 draft class.
The 2020.
Yeah, that was horrific. That was one of the worst draft classes we've had ever. I mean, who do we have? Like Henry Ruggs, because I actually did a video on it. Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett. Did we have anybody in round two? I don't believe we did. I think it was part of the Khalil Mack trade, right?
Probably, yeah.
Lynn Bowden, Tanner Muse.
Yeah.
Who was that guard we had?
We had
we took a guard that year. It was a rotational guy, and then he was the second last guy to make it through on our roster until we got rid of him. I think 2022. Simpson, that's it. Josh Simpson.
Jerome
Simpson. And then the only guy who actually did anything of note from that class outside of Henry Ruggs before he fucked up royally was Amik Robertson. The very last guy we took in that class.
Was Edwards part of that draft class, or was he after the receiver?
Which one? Oh, what's his name? The one that went to Atlanta.
Yeah, him.
What was his name? Yeah, he barely. I don't know. He had a little small impact with us.
Yeah, he just had like little things here and every now and then, a game here and then. But I always liked it. I wanted him to come out more.
Was it Brian something? Brian
Edwards.
Brian Edwards.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We got so many players that was like, damn, remember that dude? We're like, oh shit. And we know him for more of what they didn't do than what they did.
Yeah. Edwards was a Gruden pick. I remember him. I liked him. I wanted him to ball out. I wanted him to play good. Number 89.
Our offensive like wide receivers, we have one of the best rooms we've had just as far as I've been, a fan since Rice and Tim Brown, man. Like just having some consistency. Because I like having Myers and I like having Devontae. I feel like having Devontae by himself, it would be a different thing without Jacoby. Because Yeah, Jacoby eats, man. Like, and it's just because of all the hype and attention that Devontae gets.
Yeah.
You know,
And you see the plays Myers can make. Like even when
Yeah.
that end around when he scored, I was like, okay, Myers.
yeah, we
Do,
stole
do,
him.
do, you, do you think this wide receiver room is better than the one we had in 2016?
16 was that
Crabtree and
Like, I think
Crabtree and
Javonte's
Cooper?
better than everyone we had at the time, but like we still had Amari Cooper at his best, Michael Crabtree, Seth Roberts. You know what I mean?
Seth Roberts. I liked
Yeah.
him in the slot.
Oh yeah, see, underrated receiver, but he made some
Andre
clutch.
Holmes?
He made Andre Holmes too. He made some clutch catches. They made Carr look good, boy. Like Crabtree balled out.
Crabtree, I love Crabtree. He balled
That
out.
dude
And
balled.
Amari Cooper in his prime with us was
Yeah.
baller, bro. I love
Yeah.
him.
They
Tui
were-
off Sopo.
Not Tui. I remember they were calling for Tui's name.
Tui.
Andrew Walters.
Andrew Walter was another one. Yeah.
And look, now we got AOC and Minshew.
Mhm. Zay Jones was another one that we had that was good.
Right.
Zay
Zay
was
Jones
good.
was all right.
I like Zay. I like Zay when he was here with Carr. Yeah. Mhm.
I like those crucial first downs when he when we were trying to beat this Indy and all, that last run we went to when we made the playoffs. That was some crazy play by him. He would just catch those balls on the sideline and just get that little
That little-
like he was smooth. Like I used to like seeing him play because he'd be like, damn, did he get that? Did he catch that? And he would just be like,
You talking about Zay?
get up.
That
and
was
just-
the
Zay.
year my nephews became Raider fans. Was that playoff year 2021? Yeah.
Damn.
They became like diehard. They were going with me all the time to the pizza place to watch the games. Yeah.
Who's that?
My nephews, the two younger
Oh, okay,
ones.
that's-
That was like their first full year of like being fully into it. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was such a good game too, and just like
Damn, that was a roller coaster year. We had
Yeah.
some real highs and lows, didn't we?
they were talking about because man, if Ruggs hadn't have did what he did, bro, we would have had a weapon for life because he was actually coming.
Oh,
into
he
his
was
own.
lighting it up. He
Yeah,
was lighting it up. Yeah.
and see for Derek Carr, he needs that speed player because like he has the arm to get it to him, and it's like he would just chuck it, and like remember the Jets game where he just threw that one up to Ruggs, and then
Oh
Ruggs
my
just-
God, dude! I was in
Yeah.
Vegas
Oh,
watching that.
that,
That one was crazy.
Oh,
Were
we
you
didn't
guys
believe
hyped after we
that.
won that game, or were you guys just relieved? I got to admit, like I was
I was
more relieved. Than,
Yeah.
than
I thought
being
we
that
were
the
gonna
Jets
fuck- I thought we
were a
gonna
really
fuck
bad
that up.
team.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
hella relieved.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that they blitzed the way they did, and
Yeah.
then Ruggs got open, and I was like, "Oh my God, they just gave us this game. There's no
Yeah.
way we should have won." The
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
And then remember the I think it was the Dolphins. It was what's his name? Fitzpatrick. The Dolphins. I think
With Arden
remember that?
Key.
Yeah.
Who did that stupid
Oh
penalty?
my
God.
god!
yeah, that hurt. Oh,
That
in
Dolphins
fact,
And do you
one
remember Josh
hurt.
Jacobs? He took a knee before he because he
Yeah.
was trying to kill clock. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? And we didn't end up scoring a touchdown, which
Mhm.
ended up being enough for them to have 30 seconds left on the clock and enough time to score a touchdown, which would win them the game.
yeah.
And sure enough, they won the game.
everything that could have went wrong went wrong.
Right.
Who was
That's-
the player that did that stupid penalty in the Miami?
Arden almost key.
Oh.
Arden Key.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so mad, dude. Oh my God. I couldn't believe we gave that one away.
There should be a fun for Raider fans, man, just from all the heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Another guy who doesn't quite figure it out with us, and then hallelujah goes to another
Yeah.
team, and it pans out.
he was mad at us too. Remember, he was pissed off. He was like, "I'm
Right.
gonna show you guys that." I mean, but shit, you like you said, almost turned the corner. Almost got.
He
Almost.
was. That's why I used to call him Arden almost key, because it was always a case of he'd almost get there, but not quite. It was
Not
always like
quite.
a pressure or a quarterback. He'd just get there 1 millisecond late before getting a sack, and that was my thing with Malcolm Kuntz. Like I was saying before, he started to show up last season. Is that like he was having the Arden key kind of effect? He would. It's just a case of almost there. He's in the right position. He just can't quite finish. But then the second half of this last season, he finally figured out how to finish. So
That's
Almost
true.
key.
That's true though. Yeah.
Shout to Snooze.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see what Kuntz is gonna do with the full year.
Yeah.
You know, being set on that position. Yeah. That's
Right.
gonna be interesting.
Our
See who
line is going to be vicious. I know we keep worried about DB, but shit, I kept hearing that too. Everyone was like, well, shit, with our line, we really don't need another, DB and stuff. I'm like, yeah, we still need on
I
paper.
mean, we do, but I always tell people, maybe because they play DB, but like DB's best friend is a good D line because you don't have to be covering as long.
Exactly.
You're able to press, you're able to stay close because that D line's gonna create that pressure. Yeah.
Mhm.
But when you're sitting back, then the dude has all time to throw. Like, oh, you're dead.
Yeah, we did a good job too bringing that Adam Butler back, John Jenkins.
Big John,
Like
right.
we actually, instead of just bringing one back, we brought the core of what we did well last year. So that was cool. We get to build off what we did well, and we added Christian Wilkins. So
Christian Wilkins is going to be a huge addition, bro. Huge.
Right. Finally, we got someone in the room at the DT position who, on paper, there's no reason why this shouldn't pan out unless, I don't know, like, it's a Trent Brown kind of situation. But like,
oh my God,
I don't want to speak that into existence. Like this should be finally the defensive tackle we've been looking for the longest time.
Yes.
But in regards to Butler and Jenkins, like those are guys, two unheralded guys nobody was talking about before preseason, except for my guy, Nutty Nate. He hyped them up a little bit, but two guys who actually, again, like, you don't have to be superstars, but when you get your chance, when your number is called, do something. And they did enough things, and they well deserved to be re-signed to the team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm excited to see what those guys can do. But like, my point of interest is going to be Malcolm Kuntz. Like, I mean, look, we know what we're getting with Crosby. Crosby is going to do what Crosby does, unless he's injured. There's no reason why anything should change. Christian Wilkins, the highly touted free agent signing, on paper it should pan out with him, unless we see otherwise. Hopefully that's not the case. But I'm excited to see Kuntz's continued progression, see what he can do in his fourth season now that he's got some swag and some confidence and was able to show what he can do, putting it all together in his third season. But also Tyree Wilson. He's a guy I am earmarked, and I'm going to be paying very close attention. I want to see some things from him. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be no excuse. There's going to be no better situation than playing with the likes of Crosby, Wilkins, and Kuntz, who's, if he's lighting the house on fire. Those are three very highly productive guys. And if we keep Tyree as that other interior guy, and from the word from camp, like from what they're talking about and some of the footage I've seen, he's looking good.
Yeah, he's looking good. I saw that
again. I'm not asking him to be a Pro Bowler, but I want to see him actually do better and play at least relatively up to the standard for where we drafted him at number 7. Because whatever way you want to cook it, cut it, you don't draft at 7 for a rotational guy. You draft there for someone who's going to be a cornerstone for your team. I don't know if he's going to be a cornerstone, but we need him to produce. So he needs to step his game up.
He definitely does. Second year, full training camp this time, no injuries. Coming in healthy. Coming in on a D line that's strong already.
That is stacked with our starters. So there's not going to be a better situation for him to be able to produce. And I'm not giving him no concessions.
You guys see that one where he's punching those bags down?
I was just about to say he was punching those.
Yeah, like I said, I saw some footage from camp, which is he's looking good. I just want to see it on the field.
He looked nasty. That's where I was like, ooh, if that boy, you know what I mean? Like, if he gets into his own little groove, it's problem.
Did you see the video with AOC on the ropes with the footwork?
No, I gotta check that out too.
Yeah, I have a video of him wearing the 12, the red jersey, but working on his footwork, like being quick-footed. I was like, okay, Aiden, all right.
You gonna have baby Mike Vick? Okay.
Like I said, I just want to see it on the field. I mean, we were just talking about Arden Key. Like, I remember in his first few training camps, they were sharing out videos and pictures of his like unreal bend and hyping him up that he's going to be the next big thing. You know what I mean? So show it on the field, and I'm hoping he does.
And the thing with Tyree, I mean, I know he's strong. That was his thing. But one of the things my buddy used to always tell me, you're not going to always be the strongest guy in the NFL. You need another level to your game in the NFL. So hopefully he's developed like some kind of move, some kind of technique to be able to get past certain, be able to shed those blockers. Because you're not going to overpower everybody in the NFL like you did in college.
Right. Yeah, it's going to take him a minute. And then
just show progression.
Mhm.
It's year 2. Just show progression and do some things.
Yeah. I don't even care if he becomes like our run stuffer. Like if he's not the sack master, if it's Crosby and Kuntz, that's fine. But if Wilson's the one over here blowing up the run, stuffing the run, like bro, that's perfect. You know that I'll be
just like I said, just do some things.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Just do some things.
Yeah, I know. So I forgot to talk about it, but we were talking about the. Well, it's been a phrase that of course we know as Raider fans, the commitment to excellence, right? And I just remember as a kid, like right there on the stadium, just there's that big ass banner, you know what I mean, that says commitment to excellence. And see, back then when I was a kid, we had some of those good years, but it's been a long time since we've been committed to excellence. It's been
commitment to excrement.
Yeah, it's been
that was the joke. Yeah, right.
It's been almost a joke, man. Like, and I feel like we're close. We're back on track. We're back on track to getting back to the commitment of excellence. Because that was everything as a Raider. Just that was something that was supposed to mean something to us most of all, and it was just like. It was how we played. Even if we weren't that good of a team, we're gonna give you every bit of what we got. You know what I mean? And that's the Raider way, man. It's like the schedule's gonna say, of course, we're gonna lose that game, but it's the fight inside ourselves that gets us to that victory. And it's like we haven't fought like that in a long time. It feels like we've been defeated, and just we sometimes let the hate of the league and the referees, because man, I remember just the referees used to hate us. They still hate
used
us.
to. Do you remember the Colts game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, the one game we needed to keep our penalties
our
down,
hopes
like
alive.
that. Yeah.
I still can't believe they called Jack Jones offsides and then the pass interference. Like, bro,
I still can't believe that that Malcolm Kuntz's defensive offside. What was it? Defensive offsides or whatever.
Yeah, it was
they missed the kick.
Cost us the Chiefs game back in 2022. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
I had never heard of that penalty whatsoever, and I don't think none of the announcers did at that point too. They're like, "That's a weird call."
Yeah, they said it during the game. Like, I've never seen.
Never hear this call. This is one of those once in a lifetime calls.
Yeah. And the thing is that like sometimes there's bad calls. It's like okay, it pisses us off, but like it's like all right, we can still. There's still other factors of the game that can dictate like what the final result. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that particular call. Being that like that was a missed field goal, and the fact that they got the ball back, scored a touchdown, and that ended up being the game-winning score, it cost us dearly.
That was huge.
I think we're gonna start owning KC late. As of now, I think they're kind of not on the decline, but I feel like this isn't the strongest team, even though they are, to a back-to-back Super Bowl. It's a different feel. They get it done. I cannot knock KC for just how they go about.
The coach is amazing. They have the quarterback.
Man, and it's like everything's calculated. They know. And then like remember, Mahomes used to be that just chuck it all, go for it all. Now he learned 5 yards here, 7 yards here. Let's just chip away, just ball control. Really, killing drives, being able to score, and then putting the pressure on us to try to. Score points and go, back and forth with them. And I think
do you think them adding Hollywood Brown and drafting Worthy, that speed, is going to be a little dangerous? Because now he's going to have that deep threat again?
Yeah, so comparing Tyreek Hill and Hollywood Brown.
Are you talking about Xavier Wood?
Yeah, Worthy. Yeah, that was the one person I did not want them to get.
I said Xavier Woods, the wrestler. Xavier Woods. My bad.
Yeah. That was someone I definitely didn't want in their hands, But the thing about Mahomes is he's not as well. See, Tyreek Hill made him look good. You know what I mean? Tyreek took a lot of pressure off him, just being as quick as he was. He could recover, because that was one of the things that Tyreek said he didn't like about playing there. It was just kind of like no organization. It was just kind of like just freestyle, kind of just freestyle plays and stuff like that. Yeah, and he would have to just catch up to, he would just chuck it, and then he would just have to catch up and kind of make him look good. But I think it's going to look different with Xavier. I hope they drop everything. I hope it's one of those where they fast as shit and can't catch. Because Hollywood Browns has drop issues. Like he's not really the most reliable.
He's with the Dolphins now, isn't he, Tyreek? Right?
Yeah, Tyreek to the Dolphins. Yeah.
We were talking about the schedule before. Like that's another game, I guess, that's kind of piquing my interest. We're playing the Dolphins again, right?
Yeah. In Miami.
They're a team of late we've been struggling against.
Yeah.
We don't play them well at all.
Yeah, we do not play them well. And in my time as a fan, like we've lost more of the times. I can't remember if we even beat them in my time. You know what I mean? Like
that year, the playoff year, we beat them in Vegas.
I was gonna say the one with Culpepper.
That's right. Yeah, it's like we did. You're right. That I think it was week 3. But outside of that, like team that we've been struggling against
the playoff year.
Yeah,
but even that was an ugly game.
Yeah. And even this last game we played, I mean, we couldn't score it was like we couldn't score a touchdown. I think we were only down by 7, right? Or 6.
Yeah, we lost at the end. Remember they picked them off at the end. AOC went for the win. Yeah.
That was crazy. I want to say that was one of AOC.
But Jalen Ramsey made some good ass plays on him. I'll say that much. Like
that first pick was crazy. That was some Madden shit. That was literally some Madden. That was like that. Oh yeah, he's not gonna catch up to this one. And then the defender dives and intercepts the ball, like perfect timing. Yeah, he was a beast that game. Like Ramsey's a beast, man. Like,
and then even Wilkins made a big play for them. I think it was Renfro was like on a drag. Yeah. And he got open and he was running, but then he got caught from behind by freaking Wilkins.
Hey, do you guys remember that when Ramsey picked off what's his name, and then he went to the sideline and he gave him the thing? Yeah. I was like, damn, that's funny.
I like Ramsey. Was that some gladiator shit?
Yeah, he gave him that. That shit was great. I was pissed off, but I was like, cocky bastards. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, Ramsey was one of the dudes that I like. I wish we would have ended up with him one way or another. Yeah.
I feel like we are too, because he's one of those ones we've been flirting with for like those free agents.
It was always him, Marcus Peters, and who was the other guy? And Ndamukong Suh. Like the
Ndamukong Suh was the other one.
We're gonna sign. Yeah, it was every year in, year out.
Bro,
another one. Yeah,
Marcus Peters. Do you guys remember that when he picked off Carr? And he grabbed his balls before he fucking jumped in the end zone.
Yeah.
That was crazy too. I'm like, Derek, don't you ever let nobody do that shit to you, kid. It was just so crazy. It was just like, and then Marcus is a Raider fan too. So I was just like a double. That was crazy.
From the Bay, right? The Bay.
Yeah. Shout out to him. I hope he's doing something somewhere.
I don't know, man. I didn't like the way he played for us.
That was crazy.
Yeah, right.
He did not represent at all, Mr. Olay.
You seen him as like,
yeah, like come on, man.
I think that made or broke AP. His when he decided to bench him, I feel like that's where the respect.
Oh, that spoke volume. That spoke volume.
He set a precedent with Peters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's like, I love you, bro, but that Matador shit.
You a veteran? I know you a hometown hero, but
all that Matador shit. He's like, we ain't having that, bro.
That shit ain't happening here.
It was Marcus Peters who put on the hit on Carr back in, was it 2017? And then the O-line wanted to fight him, and then it was 2017 because Marshawn Lynch ran on the field to save him. Because
see, that was crazy. That was kind of controversial.
Yeah.
But he was like, I didn't even think about it. That's family. Like, at the end of the day, like, he's like, fuck. He's like, fuck.
I get it, but like, that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
me, as a Raider fan, like, I never want to see a Raider standing up for another team, especially the Chiefs.
And imagine what the locker room was like after, towards him a little bit, probably towards after that. Because you're like, damn, you're supposed to defend us. Like, we your squad. We the ones you go to war with,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did like that, like the scenes of seeing, when Derek Carr, when they made the hit, and then seeing like Rodney Hudson, Donald Penn, Felicio Semele, all those guys getting in his grill, like, and I've made this point a few times on a few lives that like I want to see an enforcer emerge from one of these cats that we have on our offensive line now. Because for me, like they all seem like a bunch of nice guys,
Nice,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Which is cool as long as they play well. But I want to see a little bit of nastiness when the time comes, much like those guys way back when, and even of recent days, like Richie Incognito, you know, like
I think
troll
that's
nuts.
what JPJ is going to bring. I'm really thinking,
and I hope so. I hope so. Like
Yeah.
I haven't watched too much of JPJ, and I don't know if he's got that in him. But like I'm just looking at the other guys that we got. Like they are what they are. You know what I mean? And that's cool. But I just want one guy. You know what I mean? To have that bit of a nasty streak about it. You know
I think that's my biggest thing with Andre James. Like I want him to be nastier. I want him to be like that. But he's not. He's not that kind of player. Yeah.
Yeah. Neither is Colton Miller. Colton Miller's
another one. Yeah.
He's a nice guy. Dylan Parham is a decent enough guard. He's a nice guy. Whoever takes over at right tackle, like Mumford, I haven't seen enough of him being that nastiness, having that nasty streak, or whoever else we have on the offensive line. So I'm looking at, I guess, like you, JPJ. Can he be the guy?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be that guy. That nasty streak.
The enforcer. You know, someone's gonna lay down the law. You know what I'm saying? When the time comes.
Hey,
you know, like a Taylor Lewan, you know, that's what he was good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was good at that. Yeah,
very good.
Afakasi, you're famous.
Yeah, right. I've heard that one a few times, Joe Rogan.
I was like, that's crazy.
Just better looking, right?
That's right. He said Peters had one less interception than Amik Robertson and didn't play a full season for us. Yeah, Peters could have, you know. Wow.
He dropped that one against Pittsburgh.
He dropped at least.
He did have a pick six.
He
did have a pick six.
Yeah.
That one was against the Lions. He had the pick six.
That was the slowest pick six I've ever seen in my life. That was his.
That comment by We the People, though, I agree with that. Like, it's I guess it's not like a necessity to have an enforcer there, but it's just something that it'd be ideal and preferable for me. You know, I feel like every offensive line should, like, it may not need one, but it should have at least one guy.
Especially a Raider offensive line, you know?
Yeah, a Raider.
Known for being nasty like that. Like from the 70s, from Shell, Upshaw, and those dudes, Otto, and then you brought up the car insurance line. They were fucking nasty.
Yeah, every single one of those guys, you know, bullies, nasty, bad motherfuckers.
The law firm powers.
Remember Wisniewski?
Oh yeah,
Wisniewski. I wouldn't call. He's more in the mold of like Colton Miller and Andre James. Yeah, and Valdir. As much as he was a big guy, I wouldn't.
Valdir.
Valdir.
You know, a nasty kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
We had, what was that year? I don't know if you guys remember that year, but there was a year we were slaughtering quarterbacks. It seemed like every week we played, we injured quarterback. It was like one good year where we had I don't know if it was what's his name? Benson, my
Mayowa? Was that 2017, 2018?
Was it that? It's somewhere around that time, but we were hurting quarterbacks. Like, it was like we injured like 6 out of the first 8 quarterbacks. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that season, but yeah, we were. I don't know what we were doing, but we were getting it done.
I didn't realize or pay attention to that part. Yeah,
I think that's all. I think that's all we had too, because we didn't really have anything going on offense or anything like that. It was just like we had a decent line, but then they broke it up the next year, and then they split people. I want to say it was
was that the year we had Benson? If you're talking about if you earmark Benson Mayowa, was that 2018 when he had 8 sacks, being a rotational guy?
It could have.
It wasn't 2019.
It was one. I think it was either before that, because I want to say like 20. I don't know if it was 2016, 2017, something like that, but it was in that range. And it was crazy. We weren't expected to do a lot and stuff like that. And we just were. I don't know. We were.
Well, the 2016 team was mainly known for the offense.
Yeah.
And then on defense, it was Khalil Mack, and then
it was Khalil Mack.
Everybody else. We did have. I like Bruce Irvin. I liked Bruce
Irvin was bad.
As the Robin to Khalil Mack's Batman. I loved Bruce Irvin.
I said Benson, but it was
Bruce Irvin.
Yeah, you just said his name, Bruce Irvin.
Right.
So it was 16.
Bruce.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were putting quarterbacks down.
I still got his jersey, Bruce Irvin's jersey.
Do you really?
I do.
Yeah, I like
and then
this.
and then they send him away. We had what's the guy? We tried to pick up what's his name, Alden Smith, and all those.
Oh, they tried to bring him back because remember he was like suspended, and the
yeah,
Raiders gave him a chance, but he never went back to what he was. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember all. I was hoping Alden Smith would go back to farm. He was nasty when he was good, man.
No, he was long. He was super like he was kind of like how Max was, but then it was different. You know what I mean? Yeah, just
that's how Tyree is though. Have you ever seen him like physically? He's
he
long. He's long. He's tall. Yeah.
I don't like how light he is in his lower body. Like it just doesn't seem like he's just like
his legs are
thick. Like like because I'm like, boy, you gotta get some, you gotta eat some food.
Yeah, he does. See, but I think with Andre James, I think having Powers, and if it's Parham that's gonna line up next to him, yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, you brought it up too. Damn, I just seen it. Where did I see that? Danico Autry.
Danico Autry, yeah. He's still in the league. He's still pretty good, isn't he? Like he does all right.
Still chugging along.
Was he an undrafted free agent, Danico?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you off the top.
But he still plays at a relatively high level. He's not a bad player. I wanted to keep him.
Yeah. Do you guys believe in Parham? Like Parham's kind of like not penciled in, but he's kind of someone that we kind of put in there. But
I like Parham. But I personally like Parham more at center than I do at guard.
Okay.
But, based on where they're going to put him and them just re-signing James, so the faith they're going to have as James, they want him to be the center, the main piece there. So, but, yeah. I like that everybody can switch around. I like that part.
I like Parham, and I like that, like, for me, it seems like maybe it's a case of like he feels more comfortable developing his craft at the guard position. You know what I mean? Center is a position he can play, and he showed that he can play, decent enough. Like it's good to see that like the roster as it stands, we've got like 3 or 4 guys who are more than capable of stepping at center. So it's Andre James' job to lose, but just with Parham, like I think he's decent enough. Like, can he be? I wouldn't consider like him as like a really good guard yet, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't put him in the same tier as like a Gabe Jackson or a Kalichi Osemele or but like look, he's only had 2 seasons and he's only been getting better, so he can get to that point where he's really good next season if he takes that 3rd-year jump. So that's not me throwing him under the bus. Like he's still got, he's only had 2 seasons, but he plays decent enough to be considered good enough.
I like those Osemele.
Right.
We signed him from Baltimore, right?
Jets, I think.
From the Jets, yeah.
Was it the Jets?
Yeah.
I think maybe.
Or is that where he went?
Yeah, I think one of those two is like he.
It might be one of those.
Oh no!
He went to the Ravens, or he went to we signed him.
I was gonna say, didn't he go to the Chiefs too? If I'm not mistaken, or something.
No, that was Rodney Hudson. That was Hudson.
Oh, okay.
Hudson went to the. Yeah.
Well, sorry, bastard.
But mind you, like the year we moved on from Hudson, we brought in James, and James wasn't too great his first year at center.
No.
Pretty freaking bad. However, someone who, from what I understand, and the PFF grades, take it for what you will, who was rated worse than Andre James when we had him at center was Rodney Hudson.
Rodney.
So we Rodney Hudson was one of, if not the best center in the league when he's with us during his best days, but he was on the downturn by then. So we made the right move.
Yeah, they did. They moved on from him.
Once a Raider, always a Raider. A very good Raider.
Oh yeah, I love Rodney. Rodney was big.
Shout to we the people.
Osemele went to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, it was briefly, but I think he was hurt over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably, because I remember that's like how AR was saying. It was towards the end. He was on the decline.
Yeah.
So, same with Osemele. When we moved on from Osemele, he wasn't the guy he was during his best days with us, and before that.
The one I wanted to see one more good year, but he could never recover from the injury was Incognito.
We were all waiting for him to just come back.
We kept him hoping he would come back and he couldn't. Yeah.
Well, by the time we signed him, he was already pretty long in the tooth. Like we didn't really expect much from him, other than being a depth guy, being a veteran who has been one of the better guards in the league. But when he came over to us, he was like, right, I believe he was on a cheap-ish deal. And
he was very friendly.
As good of a burn as we did when he was healthy. So Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're just now building our line back after giving
Well,
up.
I like what we've done with our line. I mean, it's a very young line, and we still have a good mix of like experience there with youth, you know, who are waiting to make their third year leaps, and guys like Mumford and Parham. Andre James has been in the league for a while now, as is Colton Miller, and they're still in their late 20s. You know what I mean? And then we've got Jackson Powers Johnson, you know, the second round draft investment, who there's no reason why he shouldn't pan out. So there's a lot for me to like with the offensive line.
Yeah. It's thinking about last year and thinking about what we've done this year. Like, I have confidence.
We had a whole bunch of guys like Van Roten, you know, all these other cats who are,
man,
you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily, they might be good for a little bit, but not necessarily building blocks. Whereas this offensive line for me is full of building blocks, guys we can move forward with into the future.
Mr. Muti or Mutai, what's his name? Muti. We were trying to fill all these spots, but I'm glad at least we're developing our team for the future too. Like we pretty much got bless you. We got Christian Wilkins. We got we drafted some, you know, Bowers and Mayer. That's gonna be so crazy. Because that's why I can't see our offense being, you know, like we're built to get it done. We're definitely built to get it done.
It's going to depend on the execution.
Yeah.
Right. I think the question marks is the quarterback and the running back. How good is the quarterback situation going to be, and how productive is our running back room?
Is our running game going to be able to support and help the quarterback, as opposed to making us one-dimensional? Yeah.
Right.
How long did it take Derek Carr to beat KC? You guys know, like off top?
His first year. It was his first win.
Oh, that was his. Oh, was that the one with Crabtree? That was the.
No, it was. Remember, we lost 10 straight, and his first win was against the Chiefs.
Oh, that's
in the mud. Right. That was the. You know, when Master
they were celebrating,
Charles was doing the speech at the start, like, we're gonna play in the mud just like we're kids, you know.
No, okay,
yeah. And that is great. Yeah, I was gonna say
yes, that was a sack dance game with Theo
Moore.
Yes, nice.
Latavius Murray won off that game, right?
Yes, 90-yard run. Yeah,
I used to like Murray, man. Murray used to score. Like, that was one thing, he could find the end zone. Like, he wasn't really like flashy and stuff like that, but he knew how to get that ball. You know, like at red zone, he's gonna get in there.
You're talking about how McFadden was like he used to just get tripped up all the time.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray, like, don't get me wrong, I love Latavius Murray. He was a good runner in open space, but he was another guy. He was, for me personally, I thought he was a guy who got taken down a little too easy for my liking.
I would say that he
would get tricked. Like, you know, as soon as the point of contact was made, he would go down. I remember one particular play, he made a burst wide open for a run that should have gone for a touchdown. He only had one little safety in his way, and sure enough, he went down. I was like,
yeah, he was not very good.
Like, you know, look, minor guys. Latavius Murray was good while he was with us. Once a Raider,
once a Raider, always a Raider.
We don't retire numbers, Anthony. Remember?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
we don't do that.
Yeah. For him to start,
we were so hyped when Woodson came back. I remember I was so hyped.
Yeah.
And then just to still see him making plays, you know, when he finally picked off Peyton Manning or whatever the fuck. And
but that 0-10 season, like, there was context behind that. Like, there was games where I thought we were right in it. We should have won, especially the game against the Patriots. I believe they won the Super Bowl that season. Mm-hmm. We had them dead to rights, and McFadden actually won us which should have been the game-winning touchdown. He took the left lane, scored a touchdown. He was celebrating in the end zone. Sure enough, flag. The play got a hold. And it was a bullshit penalty too. Yeah, a hold that wasn't even there. And
phantom call.
What should have been the game-winning score, we ended up losing that game.
Yeah, that 0-10. You're right. There's more context to that. Because if it was that bad, Charles wouldn't have. He stayed. You know, he saw the young team that it was, and I think he made it known to the nation, like, this team is young, but they're gonna fight their way, and they're gonna, you know, put it out there for y'all.
Right. We had building blocks there. I mean, that was
Yeah,
one of the best draft classes we've had in recent history. And sure enough, they did turn out for the most part to be that.
they did.
But Woodson came back in 2013, I believe, the year before that.
Was it 13?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a rough year.
Yeah. I felt bad that he had to come back to that.
Well, yeah, he came back when we had like that was still that period where we were in salary cap hell. We had no draft.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? We were in. Well, I think we had a full draft class that year, but we were still in deep shit in terms of like our salary situation. But I do remember, and another thing that I haven't forgotten from my early days was reading about like when he first came back to Oakland. Do you remember hearing about the scenes? Like, because he was a free agent, so he was testing the market, going here, there, and everywhere. And I think one of, if not the first place he came back to was Oakland.
Sweet
and
Jimmy.
all the fans lined up the streets
Yep.
and welcomed him to, they were pleading with him to come and sign with the team.
Yeah.
And he said just seeing the love that he got as soon as he arrived there was enough for him. His heart was already made. He didn't go anywhere else, even though he could have. He was still a very highly productive player with Green Bay.
He was still,
and he could have gone anywhere else and earned 3-4 times as much as what we paid him.
He could have went to New England and got a Super Bowl ring.
He could have, but he didn't.
He didn't. Yeah, I remember that all the fans were lining up outside the Raiders headquarters, and they had signs. They come back to Oakland, and
yeah, I remember hearing and reading about that, and that's hit me in the feels, man.
It did. It did. That's why
I was really happy to be able to, because I mean that was I hadn't seen Woodson in his early days as a Raider, so to be able to see one of the all-time greats with my own two eyes and still be highly productive. Yeah, it was good to see.
Yeah.
He was a hard one to see go. I saw him. Yeah, Woodson. The video with what? Where they ask players what games they are most excited about. I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Yeah, I don't think
Is that the video where they're like, when?
I seen that. Like when? Yeah.
Chargers, when? Chiefs, when?
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 I've seen the Devontae one about like the teams that are coming to Vegas. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Hey, you know which one I watched? I remember when it happened. Remember when Devontae and Amir Abdullah were playing basketball in the locker room, and he's all, see, watch. I guarantee this is gonna happen. They're gonna be like, this is why y'all losing the games, because y'all.
That's to my point about what I was saying before. That was literally the day after McDaniels is fired.
Yeah.
They're playing basketball and having a laugh, cracking jokes and shit.
The music was all loud.
The music is loud.
I can hear it now. It was like, that's why y'all ain't
They're literally celebrating him
shit.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all focus on the wrong shit. He's all catch that shit. Catch that shit. Yeah, but that was good to see them, But it's funny because if that losing had to kept on, we would like see y'all playing basketball and shit. You should be playing football.
That was the best one. Yeah, I agree with Anthony. Jack Jones. When he did that when, and then he kind of walked off like.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah. And that's that swagger, man. We need because I bet that's gonna make Mahomes think twice.
And that's what that culture thing brings, like this team is not afraid to play anybody on Sunday. They're not thinking we're going to go out there and this team is going to whoop our ass. Like, no.
Hey, Jack Jones's picks, those were legendary. The one he had with the Chargers, that shit was like he.
Oh, that was man. The way he read that,
he was in the playbook. Like I was like, that dude, he was damn near in the huddle. Like,
yeah,
that was nice. And now, when's the last time we've seen that, guys? When's the last time we seen
Khalil Mack 2016?
When he did that? Remember when he was it
the five sack when he had like 5 sacks and then
didn't he pick off Cam and then
that's what I'm referencing to.
That was
that, and that's
similar
because Cam was going for a screen pass. Khalil Mack read it instead of going after the quarterback. He dropped into a zone, threw it right to him, and he ran it to the house.
To the house.
Jumped into the black hole. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what
he was the dog, man. Khalil Mack. I would have loved if he would have freaking came back, but it didn't happen. Whatever. But
you think he hates us, where he would never probably come back, or do you think maybe towards the end of his career he might try to
I think if he would have been towards the end of his career, he would have did it this year. But he re-signed with them, so obviously he likes being there. Yeah.
See, I'd rather be on the Raiders
Well,
than them sorry ass
still paying him
Chargers.
money though, right?
Huh?
Good money. They're still
Yeah, they
paying
paid him good money still. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So look,
Yeah, they worked it
Khalil
out.
Mack is chasing that money, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Yeah,
I don't blame any player chasing the bag. It's like I keep saying, you know, this is their only chance in life to make as much money as they can to set up themselves and their children and their children's children. So
yeah,
I don't blame anybody for, you know, the loyalty side of it. It's all good and great, but that's not going to pay the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's with me. Like I love Amik. You know, I'm a big Amik fan. I still follow him, and seeing him get his bag, and he went to Detroit. Like I was so happy for him. I go do
Zay Jones, another one, 30 mil. Like
Zay, another one after having the year with us, and he wants to go get his money.
I'm glad he got that bag, but just not with us. We weren't going to.
What AOC do you think we get? Because we seen two different AOCs playing the Chargers. We seen
We do, but I always go back because I was very mad how many times he got sacked. And when I rewatched that game, he almost brought us back to that.
He did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that truck play,
that fight, he showed that dog in him. Where even though I'm having a bad game in the beginning, I could turn it around, and then we almost get back and won that game.
He fumbled. I think it was that the first 3 drives.
Oh my god!
I was like,
I was there.
That
was my birthday game. My girl took me there for my birthday. That was my birthday game.
That was crazy. And then for us to still have a chance, if we had just ran the damn ball, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would have ran the ball. And then I think that one was more of a rookie thing because I was sitting on that side of the end zone.
Yeah,
and I saw Samuel come from behind Junior.
Yeah,
and you could tell that he didn't know he was there. He didn't see him.
Yeah.
So once he threw it, I was like, "Holy shit!" And then you can see him come take it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was so crazy because like it was just they were getting and that was the game we remember asking like, what the fuck are they doing? Why don't you chip somebody? That's when Mac went off. And it was just like somebody help on that side, man. Like,
and that was one of the McDaniels pressers. Like, oh, we had a game plan for Khalil Mack. What the fuck was it?
Yeah, what was it? Just let him go crazy?
Like, what was the game plan?
Yeah. Well, you know,
that game. I mean, as mad as I was that we lost and the turnovers, but now that I come back and I rewatch those games, I see the good things that he did in that game, and how he uses Tay. Like he utilizes Tay to his strength. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna get him some more speed, and he should be fine. I think having the double tight end to kind of help him out because that's like a quarterback's best friend is the tight end, and I think
then you got the 2 that we got.
So pick your poison. That's gonna be this kind of season where it's gonna be pick your poison. You can't stop it all.
And then that's what trips me out. Like people, because we'll compare new Raiders to old Raiders, like, oh, it's gonna be the best tight end since Casper or whatever. But Bowers is a different beast, bro. Like he's a tight end, but he's not. Like this dude's a weapon. He's the offensive weapon. So being able to have them and utilize that, I want to see how they're going to be able to take advantage of that part.
Yeah, it should definitely be a good season. I'm excited, man. Like we were talking about earlier too, just the Raider fatigue of just the draft process, the schedule, everything, and just like trying to save energy for when it all counts in August.
And then right now we're at that hype phase. The schedule came out.
Yeah,
what games we're gonna go to and which ones we're gonna be able to watch, things like that. Be pissed we only got 2 primetime games. The Friday one and then the Monday night. The Monday night one against Atlanta is so random to me.
That is
all the teams to pick a Monday night. Like why Atlanta?
I doubt it's gonna be Cousins, and I doubt it's gonna be Michael Penix. I feel like they're both gonna be hurt.
You think they'll both be hurt by then?
Yeah. Watch, it's gonna be some third string person come out of nowhere and try to knock us off.
Yeah.
Notice I said try. I was gonna say, we get knocked off by some third string Atlanta Falcons quarterback.
In the Raiders, that's what happens. Remember what happened in the Chicago game?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. It's funny. One of my friends was telling me, he said it was tripping out how everybody's hype about the Saints game. But it's so late in the season. Could you imagine if by that time it's not even Carr, it's Rattler who's in the game?
Yeah, that would be crazy. I hope it is. See, it's fucked up because like I hope it is like where they have to make the playoffs and then we are the ones to knock them out of it.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
If that's what it is, I'm all for it. Because
I never even see that as like a revenge. It's just like we're gonna play the Saints.
Yeah.
Because the last time I went to New Orleans and we played the Saints, we got our ass kicked.
Yeah.
I just want to beat the Saints, period, regardless of who's on the other side.
Yeah.
I just want to beat them for the horrible experience I had my first time in New Orleans.
Yes,
at the game, because I had a great time in New Orleans.
I'm thinking about that game. I kind of want to go to it, but at the same time, I'd rather go kind of where it's more us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no voodoo curses and no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on out there, but yeah, shout to we need to beat the Chiefs 3 times. But if we knock them off 2 times, we might not even have to see them. Hopefully later we do what we need to do. Hopefully our division kind of catches up to them. You know what I mean? Where it's not just like where they're just dominating this division. I feel like I don't know how. I don't believe in the Chargers.
If you look at what they did last season, they didn't dominate, throughout the year. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until we kicked their ass that they went on this little run, and got hot right before the playoffs, and then they started making the plays and went on their run. But I mean, even though I think us as Raider fans were like, yeah, they're not the team they used to be, but they're still the team to beat. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still the one you have to knock off if you want to move forward. Yeah.
I hope the whole league is gunning for them too, because that 3-peat, they want a 3-peat. So all we gotta do is make sure that doesn't happen.
And it's never been done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's even I think harder for them to even try, because it's never been done. Even with those great other teams like the Niners or the Cowboys back in the day who went on their little Super Bowl runs, they had like that on that back-to-back, they didn't make it that third year.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah. Alfredo, I need some menudo.
Man. Recovery mode. Damn, so shout to the I was seeing like little things about the show last night. I gotta go back and check out the Friday night show. I was seeing there was some drama.
Where?
If I'm not mistaken, on the Just Win podcast and everything like that. Oh no,
I was watching Chris's, and then I had a family thing.
Oh, okay.
It was my goddaughter's birthday, so after that, I just stuck with the family. I didn't tune back in.
Yeah, I fell asleep hella early yesterday. Yeah, so I got to catch up. But I appreciate being here too. Like, I appreciate having you guys on too, man. Like,
anytime, brother. This is good. I like doing this.
Yeah, we have definitely some good conversation, man.
Mm-hmm. You figure out what games you're gonna try and go to this year?
So the LA, something's telling me the Rams game. I want to do the Rams because I have a friend in LA too, so I might try to see if it's possible. But I definitely want to keep the streak of Vegas, though. You know what I'm saying? Like this would be my 3rd year going to Vegas, and I definitely want to keep that streak. So I seen the Niner Raider game preseason.
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna mean, or I mean, it always means something.
It does to the barrier, right? I know a bunch of people that have been asking me like, "Hey, you gonna go to the Niner game?" And I'm like, "It's preseason, not really, maybe."
AOC got us a win against the Niners last year. He got us a win against the Chiefs.
Yeah, we play the Cowboys. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's where we play them. Is it preseason?
Yeah, we play them preseason.
Okay, that's why. Oh, hey, so Afakasi, you were right. That we play the Cowboys in preseason.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
On the road, and then 2 home games for preseason. The Cowboys and the Niners. Yeah.
JJ McCarthy. Is he that guy?
Sam Tanker, 98. Salute.
Sam. Man.
Yeah, I saw when they showed when Worthy dropped the ball and the Chiefs fans were losing their heads on social media.
Tell him keep it up. That's his job. Drop everything. Drop it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's back-to-back for the Niners and the Cowboys. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I was kind of surprised we didn't play the Rams in the preseason because we normally do.
Yeah, they cut. Well, see, we got them the season.
We got them in the regular season. Yeah.
I like that. Those games, the Charger game, the Rams game. That's cool that we got those because those are pretty much for us home. You know what I mean? Like that's a home game for us because we don't have to, anything California wise or Vegas, close enough. That's or LA.
Yeah, my first time at SoFi was actually last year during the preseason game against the Rams.
Yeah. See, I've never been to that stadium, so maybe that is. Yeah, it's just piece of shit people, Like, but I want
you gotta come just to experience the tailgate because that's gonna be the closest thing that's gonna remind you of Oakland.
Oh damn, they're just gonna have the wrong colors on and shit. It's just gonna be a little. Yeah, but I definitely want to check out that stadium. I guess.
Some people hate it. I know I have some friends that don't like that stadium. If they call
Which stadium are you talking about?
Chargers, the Chokers.
SoFi. Yeah.
SoFi.
Yeah.
Yeah. What games are you guys going to? Or besides, Afakasi, I don't know if you're gonna. You should just come out here.
Start swimming now. I might make it to one of them.
Hey, if you leave now, no,
start swimming.
I'm just gonna have to avoid all the sharks that are literally like residing in the ocean like that is.
Hey, you heard it here first. If I ever win the lottery, we're flying you out, man. We're gonna take. We're gonna fly out. We're going to Vegas. We're gonna do it.
That's a long flight, huh? I mean, I've gone to Australia, but it was on a ship, so that was different.
Well, I had a look today because my guy Rated Joe is going to the LA game, and in order to go to LA, and this is just flights, it's gonna cost me $2,000 to get there and back.
Just the flight?
Hey, and we better win. We better win.
Well, I tell you what I'm doing, like, and I appreciate, like, I'm not doing this YouTube thing for the money. Like, if I get any kind of, support is good enough for me. When like you yourself, Cheeto, you've supported me and you've donated to me, and I very much appreciate. I don't take that for granted, but like what I appreciate more is the sentiment. You know what I mean? Like that someone believes in you enough to invest in you. You know what I mean? Like that for me means a lot more than the money. But the money side of it, like everything that I've earned, and it hasn't been much, but everything I have earned, I've still set it aside in my PayPal account, still sitting there. So it's like my little hope and a prayer. One day, if I
earn enough, to come back.
Slowly chip away, I might earn enough pennies to support my return to the US to go see a Raider game.
We got to help you and get people to donate more, and then maybe you'll be able to fly her for the playoff game.
Right. The Super Bowl.
Fly her for the playoff game.
I can't wait. This is the year. I feel like everybody was has this painted kind of as they see us getting at least 10 wins. So
it depends on who you ask. Because us, we think 10, 11, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot.
I haven't given a figure.
You haven't given one yet?
No. And I won't. Like I think we're gonna do. We're gonna be good enough to be where we want to be in time. How much time that's going to take us? We're going to have to wait and see. But like for me, like the way I see it is this: wins and losses don't always tell the full story for a season.
Yes,
especially like with head coaches who have just come in and taken over the reins. I'll give you an example. You remember Jack Del Rio's first year at the helm? We went 7-10, but like there was hope there. We all knew that like we were a team that was going to build to be in contention, and we were the very next year in contention. We could have had a deep playoff run had what happened not happened, but you know what I'm saying? Like that for me is a bit of a blueprint of like, look, sometimes the wins might be wins and losses, it does matter, but at the same time, like when you look at a season, whether it's a success or a failure, as long as like if we get like say 9 wins but we miss out on the playoffs, you know what I mean, but like every game we were right in it, every game we were there's a lot to like, and there's hope for the future. Like guys are these young cats we've drafted that they might need just another year to take that next step, but we can see crumbs of it now, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm looking at. Like if that happens this season, I'm not going to necessarily call it a failure, you know what I mean?
We need better execution.
I definitely feel you on that, because I think somebody asked like would I consider not making the playoffs a failure, and I said no, not necessarily. I'm kind of like with you. Like if I see this team developing, growing, fighting, and say we only win 8-9 games and we miss the playoffs, I'm not going to consider it a failure, because then I know what we're doing and what we're building, and you're going to continue to grow from that. Yeah.
We're only going to, as long as you show that there's hope for progression to trend upwards and get us to where we need to be.
Yeah.
Because, McDaniels, that wasn't happening under his regime. No. And look how that panned out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, playoff or bust, it's not that for me. But yeah, look, like we'll just wait and see how it shakes out. Like I'm not going to give a wins and loss kind of prediction.
I have to give a different answer on that one. I have to say it is definitely. I mean, yeah, I get if it's close, but I feel like this is the closest we've ever been. Like it's like we're actually, like kind of trending towards positive. Trending in the positive. And I would definitely be disappointed because I mean, for me, it's playoffs. Like playoffs are nothing. Like you know what I mean? Because we have to at some point learn to be a playoff team and get like how like when we looked at the schedule, we automatically paint Baltimore as a loss because they're a veteran squad, they got this and that. But
they're the playoff team, yeah.
But at some point, we have to become that team too, and we have to. There's never going to be a point where we're going to look at our schedule and be like, okay, oh yeah, that's a win. That's it's impossible because you never know. Was any given Sunday, anybody can get those nuts and get it done. But it's when are we going to take that step forward and say, you know what, we're not going to lose. We're not the old Raiders that we have been. Someone's going to have to take them by the horns and be like, we will not lose. We are not losing. We're not the old school Raiders. This is some new shit. So I just feel like we have to take that step.
Definitely. And, I think we saw that last year after the change, the coaching change.
Yeah,
I think that was my biggest frustration with the old regime when we would lose those leads. Remember how many games we lost when we were winning? We had
oh yeah,
right. And to me, it became like
we had no business losing.
Yeah, they're being the Raiders again. Here they go, Raidering it out.
Raiders. Yeah,
and then
Raiders
when AP took over, I didn't see that anymore. I didn't see that anymore. I saw I was fighting like, yeah, we lost games. We lost Miami. We lost Minnesota, things like that. The Chiefs' first one, we were winning and then we lost. But then you saw them fight back. That second Chiefs game, we punched them in the mouth, So just to see that progress and the progression, I think kind of leads me to be like, we're not going to be the same old, like, here they go, Raidering it out again.
Yeah. Because like what you guys said, like you're right too. But that was last year. We should have been like that. Like, okay, at least after Pierce, we did start getting better and we did start seeing that we aren't that bad because we're losing these games. And I'm like, damn, we're not that bad. We're not that bad of a team, but we're still losing. But so that's what kind of like last year was kind of like, we didn't make it. We put up a damn good fight for just how the season started and just how everything shook out. But I think now this year is results. Like we're looking for results. Like all these draft picks, Tyree Wilson, it's time. You know what I mean? Like all these Trayvon Merrick stepped up and everything like that. But there's certain players that we need. This is the year to see if
that next level.
Yeah, like Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker is one of those. I feel like he needs to take that next step because he's for what we got him for. It's crucial that he can catch the ball and that he is not just a mirage. Yeah, exactly. Like a decoy. Like, he's actually a weapon, So it's fair. Yeah. I know I'm hard on them a lot, but
what'd you say, Cheetah?
I'm going to the Cleveland game. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
To the Browns?
Mm-hmm.
I was just telling Jason before that Cleveland game, they're no joke, Cleveland.
Yeah.
So
no, they're not. I think I picked them to lose that one. I said that we would probably lose.
Yeah, I have quite a few people because I have been watching a few of the content creators doing their predictions, and now I think about it, just about every single one of them predicted that we might lose that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're good.
Is it away? Is it an away game?
No, it's here in Vegas.
Yeah, that's a home.
That's a home.
Yeah, that's the first four within the
fourth game. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be 4
on the road and then 2 at home. Yeah.
So we'll be like 4-0 by then. We'll knock off the Chargers, knock off the Ravens, knock off the Browns, knock off the Panthers. 4-0, and then we just see how it shakes out from there. We got this, guys. I'm
And
telling
that
you.
would be the thing that pisses me off. Say we do for some reason, we beat the Chargers, we beat the Ravens, but then we go home and we take a shit against the Panthers.
Get smacked at home by the Browns. That would be crazy.
But like, oh my god!
And this is the second year too that we've started off with 2 away games. You know what I mean? 2 away games, and then they don't like us for shit.
Yeah,
really
I mean, the good thing is the away games in LA, so it's different.
Yeah.
But
that Panthers game, I would love to go to that one because I feel like that's the one. That's the one we're gonna tear. What's his name up?
Yeah, and then that's always been Vegas. The home openers, the big one.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
He's actually not that bad. The more I watched his stuff from last year, he's that team just sucks. You know what I mean? Like he's got this talent. It's just he doesn't have the talent around him. So it's gonna take a little bit, but I don't think he's trash. Like with Bryce Young, I think he's actually gonna be a decent player if they can keep him healthy.
I was looking at user 011 unknown's comment. McDookie was a Goodell plan. I like this guy. It's the first time I've seen you in my feed.
Shout to user
User 011 unknown.
Man.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
I love it.
Welcome. Yeah, man. So what you guys got? What you guys got going for the weekend?
I'm watching this boxing match right now. I didn't know there was a fight today so early in the morning.
Who's playing? I said who's playing? Who's fighting?
It's Fury against Usyk.
Oh, okay, the Fury fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
The heavyweight?
The heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I didn't know he was fighting.
I thought it would have been a big deal. Usyk's the other heavyweight champion, so this is going to unify the belt.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta take Tyson, man. I gotta take Tyson.
Those Saudis be spending that money to give us the fights.
Man, are you guys feel anything for the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul?
No,
man. To me, like I can't. How are you gonna be almost 60 years old and fight?
I hope he whoops his ass though. I
do too, but
you're right.
I hope Mike beats the brakes off Jake Paul.
Meaning KC.
These are exhibition fights.
Yeah,
they're not. I'm sure, like with these exhibition fights that he's fought, like guys like Mayweather and whoever else he's fought. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's like a little sneaky deal there. It's just like, look, we're gonna go hard, but like don't go too hard. Hurt me.
Not the face. Not the face.
Mayweather could have and should have beaten the brakes.
Didn't it seem like when he rocked them, Mayweather kind of like stopped?
He caught him.
Yes, exactly. To my point, every single one of these exhibition fights have been like that. So it's just like I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. It's a money grab, and kudos to them. Like it
is. They're making their money.
They're making money. Like there's more people invested in these. Whether we like it or we don't, there's more people invested in these exhibition fights than there is in like a lot of just the majority of the pros that are out there trying to actually, do things legit. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess it's a little bit sad, to see with the state of the boxing world. You know what I mean? But
that's what they were talking about earlier. They hope with this Fury Usyk fight that it brings that back to boxing. Actually seeing two heavyweights go at it. Yeah.
I like what Ryan Garcia is doing, man. I like
Ryan's wild.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of stuff. He was beating the brakes off old boy too. Like it was just weird. That was a crazy fight, but he was playing psycho.
But like to the casual, it's not like I remember even as a kid the day the back in the 90s and the 80s, the Tyson days, the Lennox Lewis days. You know what I mean? Like having all these heavyweights making the division like must see TV. Who was that guy? Evander Holyfield's another one. You know what I mean? It's just
Lennox Lewis.
It's not. Yeah, it's just not that anymore.
No, that's what they're hoping with this one, that it'll bring that back.
Yeah.
But I guess like a lot of that's to do with the emergence of the UFC, like MMA. Because MMA wasn't a thing back then, and now it's a lot easier to make a name and maybe make bank with like MMA. I don't know. Like these boxers are still making money, like big money. The ones that are at the top of the game, you know.
Yeah, the ones that are at the top can demand how much they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. But other than that, bro, chilling for the weekend.
Yeah. I'm gonna get some food going, and then I'm gonna see what's up. Probably chill for the weekend, kind of rest up for the work week.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Spend some time with you. Is that your lady behind you?
Yeah, we're gonna spend some quality. I do my Raider thing, and I thank her for being patient with me as I. Sometimes they run a little long or whatever, but I appreciate her, being
She's like, shut your ass up and come and give me some love.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm about to, we'll get out of here too, and appreciate you guys too, man, for coming through.
Always, bro, anytime.
You know what I mean? Back like I never left, coming back. Hopefully that was the last stint of near death. So hopefully we good. So next week, we'll talk about just hopefully we get some news. Like hopefully we get some roster, that DB that we've been asking for.
That won't be till like June 1st. See what happens with that. Yeah.
And we still got about still got a little bit of hope it comes. Hope it definitely comes. So shout Raider Nation, man. We love you, man. We appreciate you guys. And the commitment to excellence is back. And we are in for a ride. And at least we get to witness. You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen it all. We've seen all the negative, but now it's time for the tides to turn and for us to start our winning ways again.
Yep.
Red Nation for life. Win, lose, or tie. You know what time it is. Red Nation till we die. Just win.
Raiders.
I give a loud one, but I got people sleeping next door. So.
I know, me too. I
give a quiet one. Raiders.
Yeah, no.
Right?
The kids are asleep. I don't want to wake them up.
Man. Oh man, appreciate you guys. And until the next one, let's
for sure.
go.